What's up, fam? Tuesday nights, Birds of a Feather coming to you live on A2DRadio.com. We got a packed house tonight. This is going to be a hot show. We were already having jabs thrown before we even got on the air. You got Chrome and Chucks. We got Peter. We got Tom over here. Ryan Brodo on the ones and twos. We are brought to you by Gibson Mayer LLC, our certified public accountants. Make them yours, GibsonMayer.com. Also by Specialized Physical Therapy. You can find them in Burlington, Cherry Hill, Princeton, New Jersey. And you can also find them on the web at SpecializedPhysicalTherapy.com. Our Scanzano Sports poll question of the week, ScanzanoSports.com. What is your reaction to the DeSean Jackson trade? I don't like it. Depends what happens with Nelson. Good but not great, or let's go. But we got breaking news, guys. Seconds before we go on the air, the New York Football Giants have traded Odell Beckham Jr. to the Cleveland Browns. 2 years ago, the biggest joke of professional sports, yes. And now they have to be a Super Bowl contender at this point. They made the addition of Kareem Hunt. Now they pick up Odell Beckham Jr. Baker Mayfield's going to be having a field day with all the toys he's got to play with. You know, we talked about all the toys they bought in for Jared Goff last year, the toys that they've bought in for Carson Wentz. Damn, that's a huge, huge move. And before we went on the air, I think we were talking about you believe in a young quarterback. You do everything you can to bring weapons in, right?
Absolutely.
And clearly this just fits right into that mold. So I don't know who wants to start because it's going to get fiery. It already started getting fiery between these two, as always, when Tom's on with Chuck.
As always. And I love it. That's why I like Big Daddy. What's up, Big Daddy?
I'm going to defer.
Nice to have you in. I love having you on.
What's up?
I'm going to defer over to Chucks.
What up?
I'm going to let you kick this off. I know we're going to get into DeSean. I promise. We're really excited to talk about it, but this is just such a big story.
Right off the top. Literally.
Seconds before we started running the bed to jump on the air as the notification came up. So, Chucks, what do you got, man? What's your initial reaction to this?
I want to see, before I hear the trade terms, Giants. I have it right here. Schefter's reporting Giants receive first-round pick in 2019, which is the 17th overall. So, Pete, that's what you want to know. They had 17th overall. The Browns' second, third round pick this year. So they have two. Mm-hmm. So they're sending the second one. And Jabril Peppers, who's just one of their young safeties that they had, over to the Giants. Wow, that is I think if you're the Giants, it's a understandable return. But to me, the big winners are the Browns. You do not get an elite top 3 wide receiver in the league just for that. That's it. That's all it's going to cost. And then you're peppering your franchise quarterback, your second-year franchise quarterback in Baker, who is undoubtedly one of the best young passers in the league. Undoubtedly, you give him weapons, a legit weapon, opposite now of his best friend Jarvis. So it's OBJ and Juice in Cleveland, and God. Then people want to mention Kareem Hunt too. They added him. Now we don't know what his status is going to be for the season, but if he's going to face a suspension, we don't know. But those two with Baker, and then you still got young pieces in David Njoku at tight end, who is athletic, is an athletic freak and could take a next step next year. You still got a great own line. They just traded for Olivier Vernon too so this is their second trade with the Giants.
And even from last year with the progression of Nick Chubb starting around week 8 or week 9.
Yes.
I mean, damn.
Why are they even paying Eli Manning money then? I mean, why even bring him back?
Why try?
It makes zero sense.
It does not make any sense.
You're in a different direction mode. You're not in win and now mode. So I mean, it's one thing if you're in win now mode and it's a going away present and a going away party, but that's not what the case is right now. The case is you're getting rid of guys that help you supposed to help you compete. Mm-hmm. They haven't, but are supposed to help you compete. And I think it's a good move. I think it's a good move for both teams. Obviously, I agree. I think the Giants got back good value in return, especially a guy that's been a little bit of a headache too.
I think they got good value, but I do think they possibly could have got more. But regardless, you're right. It's a great value for them. I agree with you. On your point on Eli Manning, to me what this tells me is the only reason he's back, if this was the path that they were looking to take, it's to save face for the atrocity of the way they handled that situation last year, to give him that last full season. Which, listen, I mean, if that's what you want to do, I kind of get it. But at the same time, like, it just doesn't make sense to me when you're wasting a year when you could be looking for somebody who may have something in the tank and give you something going forward beyond this year.
When you broke it and you were sitting there and says,
yo, he said it so casually. He's like, hey, yo, Odell Beckham to the Cleveland Browns. We're like, what?
Yeah. No, are you serious? And I'm literally like, Cleveland, this is for you. Like LeBron did when they won the championship and they beat Golden State. Listen, man, Baker Mayfield, Arnone Evans, our son.
Studfield.
Together. Like, it's ridiculous to think about the offense that they're going to put out there. Let's not forget they just traded for Olivier Vernon. So when's the last time you seen two
Don't forget their defense has already been real good.
Their defense was really good.
Yeah.
They got Jamie Collins as well. Now you got Olivier Vernon, Myles Garrett. You do lose Jabril Peppers, which okay, for a Giants that kind of saves face letting Landon Collins walk. But let's face it, Jabril Peppers didn't have a true position coming out of college.
Yep.
He wasn't a free safety. He wasn't a strong safety.
Absolutely right.
Kind of was just a hybrid.
Yeah.
But when's the last time you seen two NFL teams do two trades within a week of each other? This is the second time they've done business. You can't tell me that when they did the Olivier Vernon trade for Kevin Zeitler, which was a good trade for both teams, that the GMs probably were like, what's the chances of getting Odell?
Yeah, I have to think that at the end of that, somebody was sitting there and they're like, it was easy to work with them. Let's just check back in and let's just dip our toes in the water and gauge the temperature a little bit. And again, if it's a nice smooth train, like you said, it's something that works out for both teams. You tend to go back to the same well a couple of times if it makes sense to pull off another move. You see it a lot in all the different sports,
especially for the Giants trying to clear money. It looks like
yes.
But
well, here's the thing.
Besides Eli,
interesting that you said that. As per Tom Pelissero, the Giants will carry $16 million in dead money on their 2019 salary cap for the deal they did a little over 6 months ago with Odell, who got a $20 million signing bonus. They'll gain $5 million in cap.
Well, it's the same. I mean, it's the same thing that happened with the Steelers with Antonio Brown. This is what's going on in this league with some of these guys, that they're that much of a headache. They're that talented. They're great players, right? But they're so much of a headache off the field and sometimes even on the sidelines that teams are willing to take dead cap hits of 14, 15, 20 million just to say, you know what, goodbye to guys. And I think that's really telling in all this, is that teams are willing to say, you know what, we're willing to take a huge hit for this year because we're just trying to get these guys out our doors.
Yeah.
And now Odell's on the same level as AB in terms of just being Odell.
Yeah.
That's distractions.
Now,
it's distractions. It's talent, but it's distractions come with talent, with that kind of talent.
Right. Now, the difference is between the two. AB, the Steelers are taking a $21 million cap hit. Seems like the Giants are taking 16. I'll dare to say this, though. Pittsburgh's in a better position up until this point. Now, Cleveland just became the team to beat in the AFC North. But when you look at Pittsburgh as a whole, as a team, they're way in a better position than what the Giants are. Because at least, listen, Big Ben, I don't like him as a person, he's all right as a player, but I'll take him over Eli. Like, what are the Giants telling their fan base right now?
Well, see, to me, I look at it a little bit differently because to me, I look at the Giants as a team that if you're going to take a dead cap hit like that, clearly with the moves is they're not looking to win this year. This is going to be one of those years where they're already almost chalking it up as a loss.
But then why are what's with Eli?
And I agree with you.
Yeah.
That doesn't make sense. But just looking at the team, taking a $16 million cap hit for the year isn't going to be a big deal. I don't see them going out and trying to utilize that cap space to make any kind of a run this year. So I get that. I look at it that way. I don't get the Eli thing either. But I don't know.
I just think that I get what you're saying. And do AB and OBJ come with baggage? Absolutely. And we'll get into the AB stuff later. And in no way am I defending the stuff that they do. OBJ has issues. He clearly has had a history of temper issues where he'll go in the back hallway and slam his head against the wall, or was it like one of the gates where he was completely slamming it and stuff like that. He has issues. I think that at the same time, if I'm going to be fair, there are some of the things he does that he gets a bad rap for, but it's not. I wouldn't say that it's totally bad.
Cookers and pizza, man?
No, that's bad. That's one of the things that is bad. Trust me.
That's pretty bad.
But when you talk about certain things like him screaming and yelling on the sideline at coaches and everything, I just keep bringing up Tom Brady. He does the same stuff.
Oh, I agree.
He does the same stuff on the sideline, and there are a lot of other players that do the same thing. So when him and AB, I get it.
Like
when
they're not kicking nets over and going to certain.
That's
levels.
where he's getting. That's when he's going overboard. But there are cases where it's like the New York media, and granted, it is New York media, so they're all on you like one on rice.
Yeah.
So like
Brady.
whenever he does little things, it's always like, look what he's doing now. Look what he's doing now. So even though I do agree he comes with baggage.
Yeah, but guess what? He created that spotlight.
I get it. No, I know.
The media,
I know that.
Like the media doesn't pick out guys and say you're going to be
my
a diva
point is he's
and,
worth
and
to
that
me,
guy.
To me, my point is that considering everything, he's absolutely worth it. For the Browns, he's absolutely worth that.
Yeah, he's talent. Nobody's taking talent away.
Yeah.
I'm just saying it's telling that teams are willing to take dead cap hits and pay guys essentially and pay that money for a year just to say bye. You know, and that's
after paying him.
After paying.
Less than 6 months later.
I mean, both essentially paid because they paid AB too.
Now, the AB
I mean, it was a while ago, but they paid him.
Yeah. AB to Odell, though, he could have very publicly spoken bad about Eli and his play. We've all seen it.
Yeah, no question.
He's never done that, so he's not to that level. My question is, if we shooting our shot, let's shoot our shot. It seems like the Giants are open for business, if I'm not mistaken, correct?
Yeah.
It looks like it, yep.
Can we get Saquon?
That's what I'm saying.
No, he's not going nowhere.
Howie, listen, man. They empty in the cupboards. They want more. You can have this. You can have 25. You can have 20 pick.
Yep.
Go ahead.
There's one man on that team that is untouchable. I guarantee you.
Now, at this point, it is. You're absolutely right.
They're building around Gettleman is building around a running back. You guys know me. I am the running back guy. Like I love my running backs, but I will admit, building around a running back, as good as he is, you cannot build around a guy like that. You cannot build.
Detroit Lions tried to do it for years. It never worked.
I'm interested to see if the Giants use these picks now to try to get up to 1.
That's what I was thinking.
And try, now I don't think they're gonna. I don't think nothing they can offer is going to get Arizona to give up.
No, they're not going to get up to 1.
What I mean?
But what if they
give up that pick because that's their guy? Yeah.
But what if they want Haskins?
That's
what if they want to get to number 1 to ensure themselves they get Haskins?
They might not need to.
But
I get what you're saying, but that's starting to be a dangerous game where there's so much buzz now, and there was another signing that Ryan brought up that even kind of further cements the fact that Kyler Murray is going to get drafted number 1. Is they just signed Brett Hundley as their backup quarterback.
That's true.
So that is going to show that the direction they're in.
Yeah.
Arizona is going to pick Kyler Murray, and Greg, if you're listening, I owe you $20. So
or the Giants are then going to try to trade for Rosen.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, trade
which
for
I would
Rosen.
love for him to do because he stinks.
Yeah.
Now this trade is
we talked about that last week. I agree.
It's so blockbuster. I kind of wish it was a 3-way trade because it really would have worked out if they send everything and then Cleveland then sends their pick to Arizona. Arizona then sends Rosen to the Giants.
It would have made sense. Yeah,
it would have made sense.
It would make sense.
Yep.
It would make sense. So it's crazy, but if I'm the Giants, I think what I'm taking out of this is that if I'm a Giants fan, what I'm taking out of this is what are they doing? I still don't know. I know I just said that they're building around a running back, but then why is Eli still there? Why are you? They just signed Antoine Bethea to be the replacement for friggin' with Landon Collins. Like, I need a direction. I liked Gettleman's trade for Zeitler. That was a good move. That was a very good move. But beyond that, I need direction. I need to know where they're going. Because it's not like Landon Collins was some veteran that was 29 years old going into his third contract. He's a young piece you can still build around, but yet they still wanted to let him go. So what are they doing?
Well, let me ask. You guys are probably more college fans than I am. What's the quarterback class like next year?
Good.
Is it much better?
Good.
Because to me,
this year, nothing.
This could be, like I said, this is the Eli Swan song tank year so that they can go and get that quarterback next year in the draft and have more assets to work with for next season.
It could be because you get 2 first-round picks this year, and you use that to stockpile some talent there, and then you tank it out this year in a way.
Listen, they could utilize one of those
try
picks.
To get one next year.
And they could utilize one of those picks for this year and trade it in somehow, shape, or form to take an extra second or first-round pick for next year as well.
See,
they're going to have a lot of assets draft day or leading up to the draft to be able to do a lot more to prepare for the future.
Now, I find it funny if I'm a Giants fan and I'm listening, which we hope you are. This is a very open forum family, A2D.
Yeah, absolutely.
All the shows on the platform. If I'm a Giants fan and I listen to hear you say that maybe this is Eli Swan's song and this is they want to tank. Okay, so now you want to tank purposefully. When you've tanked the last 2 years, actually trying? Like how does that I just want to say thank you to the Giants because hey, the Eagles are going to win the NFC East. It is March. We haven't had OTAs yet. It was an argument before, after the trade for DeSean, that they had the best wide receiver locker.
Cowboys took a hit by losing Cole Beasley as well. So I mean, there's a lot. But no.
But they gained Jason Witten, guys.
Typical Cowboy fashion.
Beautiful. We got into DeSean. Let's crack into DeSean Jackson. Clearly, the Philadelphia Eagles finally got that guy that we've been looking for the last couple of years, the guy that can be consistent. Now, Torrey Smith was very good in the role, and his leadership was undoubtable. Unfortunately, with Mike Wallace, he was taken out immediately out of the mix, and Mac Hollins was nowhere to be found all year last year. Mm-hmm. So the Eagles go out. They clear all the cap space. All praise to Howie again. Unbelievable. They were in cap hell, possibly worse than any other team in the league, and he opened up over $24 million in cap space and managed to bring back Brandon Graham in the process and extended Kelsey. And finally, they were able to rework a Jason Peters deal with less money on the books. I mean, there's so much that he was able to do. And then he goes out, and DeSean Jackson clearly was positioning himself, pushing hard to get back to Philadelphia. And they make the move. Not only that, they extend him for 3 years. I think it was around $27 million. I didn't see the guarantee.
I think it's 13 guaranteed.
Right.
13 guaranteed.
Awesome move for them. A much-needed asset for Carson deep to stretch the field that we haven't quite had consistently. Mm-hmm. I'm excited for this move. For me, poll question, let's go.
Yeah.
It's off and running now. You got we'll get into it. I'm not big. I don't know how I feel about the Nelson thing yet. I don't hate that they've already said he's coming back.
Love it.
I am praying.
Nelson, you're back, baby.
I am praying that by 4 o'clock tomorrow they say Nelson is back.
Nelson staying with the team 2019, guys.
At 3 years and $15 million with 8 or 9 guaranteed because
Nelson's gonna
he's
be back.
not a $9 million wide receiver.
He should not be.
Huh?
Yeah.
If you look around the price tag around the league,
yeah. What did Cole Beasley just get? What did I post today?
4 for $29.
Cole Beasley and John Brown both got $9 million.
Stupid money.
Yeah,
that was legit stupid money.
Here's the real question. We'll get right into it. Here's the real question when it comes to Nelson. Okay, you're gonna trade him and let him go. Who's gonna be your replacement? Legit, and you can't sit here and name anyone on any team. What free agent is a legit replacement for Nelson Aguilar?
I don't know, but if I'm given $9 million,
you can't just say I don't
somebody
know.
else.
No, like what you can you?
I'll bring
obviously
Golden,
won't.
I'll try to bring
Tom,
Golden
back me
Tate
up on
back.
this because Cole Beasley just got $9 million.
I'll try to bring Golden Tate back.
Golden Tate
Not
wants
at that-
$12
You're not
million.
going to get him at 9.
Better than
Not gonna get him a 9.
I'll give you a name better than Cole Beasley.
I'd
who just
rather
got
have
paid.
him at 11 or 12 than have Nelson at 9.
Adam Humphries got 4 years, 36 from the Titans. Come on now.
Come on. This is
Enough said. Like,
you have
I
to
hear you.
give a legit solution or replacement if you're ever talking about.
I just said
who's
I'd
going
rather give Golden Tate 11 or 12 than give Nelson
no,
9.
I wouldn't. Not
And I
for
think-
here?
I wouldn't.
For here.
No,
I would say.
wouldn't.
I mean, if you tell me Golden Tate deal, say two years, 15 mil with 10 guaranteed.
I'd be down with that.
I'm down with something like that.
I don't need to sign him for 3 years, but bring him back for a couple years at 11 or 12 million a year. I'm fine with that.
I can understand that, but I mean, I still wouldn't. I'd take Nelson at 9 over Golden Tate at 12 or 15 a year.
We'll agree to disagree.
Yeah, we'll
Plus,
agree
he
to disagree.
fits. He seems to fit here better. I think Golden's a turf monster.
Yeah.
Just the vibe I get. The little step
Remember-
back hard, and he has.
So
Works
if the
better,
Eagles
works better on turf.
If the Eagles though aren't, they obviously they were not planning to bring Golden Tate back. Who else besides him? If you're talking about trying to save money though, so you're trying to save money on the wide receiver position because Nelson's too high.
It's not even
Who
about
are you going to
saving
be-
money. I said Golden Tate because for me, I think it's smarter money. It's not saving money. I understand that all these guys are going for this price or that price, but if I'm going to start getting into 9, 10, 11 million dollars for that position, I want to go for a guy that I believe would be a better fit. I don't know that I didn't see enough from Nelson last year in a progression going forward. At this point in his career, there should have been at least a slight step up from 2 years ago when he finally
know.
turned
But
the corner.
progression isn't linear. Progression doesn't work like that.
People forget he had 9 catches in the Super Bowl. I
Yeah.
mean, like everybody.
Thank you.
Too.
Yeah,
2
we-
years ago.
We talk about, I know, but we can't overlook, some things. We can't overlook that it's just all on him on why he didn't get the football at times and different things like that.
Yeah.
So,
And I didn't say it was.
No, but I think
not the point I
when
made.
you can put him back into the slot, well, the point you make is you're looking at it at this year. Well, the guy didn't play as much slot as he did the year before either.
especially-
So in the Super Bowl, he played a ton of slot and he got 9 catches. So that's the value of him as a slot guy.
Yep.
So all I'm saying to you is I hear what you're saying, but the league's telling us that $9 million isn't even like is probably the average rate. You know what I mean? That's what the league's telling us. So essentially, you could even be pricing now at 11 or 12.
Yeah.
Real, or at least a little higher than some of the guys that are getting signed for the money that they're getting signed for. But yeah, the whole league's stupid money. But this is everywhere. This all goes up. It all goes up
It all
over
goes
time.
up. So I'm completely fine with Nelson.
I
Nelson
think-
Meagher. I
yeah.
think that's the right move.
'Cause I think there's a restructure coming, Chrome. I don't think it's a 9. See, I don't think it's even 9 this year. Like I think there's going to be a restructure, some guaranteed money. Guys want to get guaranteed.
And that's what I would-
guarantees. This year's going into a 1-year deal. It's a perfect time to approach a guy about a restructure.
But that
I
was
think
my
that's-
point.
I think that's what you're going to see.
Give him a higher guarantee, bring him down to 5 or 6 million
Yeah.
a year.
His cap hit.
And that's
Yeah,
I
you're
mean,
not
that's-
going to get him down to
that's
5
my-
or 6. Because then what do you?
That's where I value him. If they go 7, I'm fine with it. I don't care.
You can't make up your own value when the league's value an average guy.
This is what I'm saying,
I
though.
know.
This is my
I know.
opinion. I would be tickled pink if it was that. I'd be okay with it if it was 7 or ish or whatever it is. But I don't believe
Guy's creating his
with the
own
way
salary
this
cap.
team is. Yeah, well, that's how we work,
So what about a deal similar to Deshaun's though? Because Deshaun's annual value, I think his cap is going to be about 6 or 7, but he got 13 mil guaranteed.
Right.
Maybe you just tack on another year. So instead of 3 years, 27, maybe 4, 36, but probably say 18, 19 guaranteed.
I would be okay with that. The money's a lot smarter. With
I mean,
that.
I'm interested to see. I don't think any wide receiver has signed for less than $9 million.
You could
I
be
have
right.
to look. I haven't really
No, they haven't.
looked
And
into
his-
all of the details
Right.
of it.
No, I'm
I've been
going to
at
tell
work.
you that
Yeah.
nobody's
Yeah.
worth the name.
And his
Yeah.
numbers
Nobody worth the name.
from
Yeah.
last year, the Super Bowl season to 2018 to 2019, I think the only numbers that were down was his touchdowns.
I said
mean,
that last
but,
week.
But you don't think that having a guy like
See,
to the
we-
poll question and DeSean Jackson who can go over the top, who doesn't create out space for a guy like
Thank
Nelson
you.
Aguilar in the slot?
Please,
Perfect.
all
Why
three
are
of
you
us
gonna-
need to knock
why
some
are you
sense
gonna
into
gain-
Chrome.
Why are you going to gain something and then get rid of something?
Right.
Like, because DeSean can't play the slot.
That was
and I'm
dumb.
not putting,
No,
I'm not
no,
putting my
no.
money in Mac Hollins playing the slot.
No.
I'd rather put my money in saying, going into the year saying, this is my 3 guys. This is my 3
Who
start
can
guys.
Who can they trust?
Robo.
Yeah,
Who can they
and then-
trust?
and
And,
if
they
you-
trust no.
And then you're cheap all the places. Mac Hollins can be your 4th, whatever. I don't care. Like, you know what I mean? But
Right.
but I need my 3 to be them 3 guys then.
Now,
And then I got 2 real good tight
one
ends.
play. Remember, he shook Patrick Peterson out of his damn shoes against Arizona. So don't get me wrong.
It was a $9 million play. You're right. Absolutely.
Oh,
See them?
See, this is what I deal with every week.
this guy.
Every week.
This guy. You see
I'm
what
not
the
feeling
Bills-
Nelly
welcomed
hater.
anymore.
He's a Nelly hater. He's a Nelly hater.
Yeah, you're another one of my sons that I don't like to hate.
Just expect a text message every time a ball is dropped next year.
I don't think he does.
Yeah,
drop
that'll
that.
be like
That's
two.
not his
That'll
game
be like two.
anymore.
No,
exactly.
he did. He approved on that.
I mean, guys about to. At least he got rid of his stigma. He ain't like Markel Fultz.
Yeah.
Right? At least I got rid of his.
You're right. No, I'm with
I
you
got to
on
give
that.
a guy
I'll give you
love
that.
for that because that's hard to
Absolutely.
come back from.
Yeah.
He's going to
Give me
catch
that.
a cold, and then I don't know when he met his girl, but it's got to be right around there.
Now, she was with him from USC.
Was she?
She been with him the
College?
whole time.
College.
Good.
Yeah.
Well,
Drop balls and all.
Yeah,
Some-
yeah, good for her.
Something,
Well, good.
Something turned around in that relationship.
Well,
Things started spicing things up in the bedroom or something.
Good.
Put a little pep in his
Whatever
step.
she's doing, keep doing it.
Yeah, she's shopping. That's what I saw. That's why he ain't going to turn down the 16, 18 guaranteed.
No. And I'm surprised to speak about Golden Tate. I'm surprised he didn't sign. I really don't want him back anyway because remember after the season stopped, he was shouting at the Patriots like I
Yeah,
want
he was.
Yeah.
So I'm good. Miss me on that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's
bye. Bye.
Bye, girl.
Like these guys, like you didn't play all that well.
No.
And then when you did catch balls, it's like where was that make a guy miss that you were so that we
Yeah.
thought we were getting? It was like another one of them lies. It was like a DeMarco Murray.
Yes.
Like it was like, and I'm not putting him to that level, but it was just a lie. What did my eyes tell me
No,
about
I
this
mean,
guy?
listen, DeMarco Murray was a lot of chip calling plays east and west
was
when he's
that.
a
You're right.
north-south
You're
runner.
about that.
I don't
You're
care.
right
Football's
about that.
football, though.
You're right
So go
about
make a play. Football's football. So, I mean, you catch a ball in space.
At least he gave us that one touchdown against the Bears.
Yeah, he
At
did.
least he gave us
And that was it. But, I mean, like,
so that makes the third rounder worth it, right?
all the make guys misses in Detroit.
For the epic Cody
For
Parkey
the
game.
epic Cody
didn't get
Parkey
here.
game.
I don't think we've ever had a good – anytime we trade with the third-round pick, it never works out.
Nah.
Never works out. It has to be a 4th, 5th, something like a 6th. A third-round pick is way too high. This never works out.
So where do you think a guy like a Jordan Matthews stands? Is there a spot for him on this team?
I think he's a free agent.
He is, but is there a spot to bring him
I'll
back?
say this. I'd rather have Jordan Matthews as my fourth than Matt Collins.
No, well, then
Just-
4
I
or
agree.
5. Well, then there's your
Yeah.
4 or
I
5.
agree.
then. I'm fine there.
You talk
Yeah.
about a guy that came in last
There's
year.
your-
You
there's
talk
your-
about ending stigmas. He came in and fit the
There's
exact
your
role
$5
he was
million
asked to do.
receiver, Chrome.
Yeah, there it is.
There's your $5 million guy.
I'm okay with that.
You have $5 million.
I'm totally
I'm just
fine
letting
with
you
that.
know we're at
You
price.
want
I
him
would
as
love
a
that.
three.
I said
I know,
last week
'cause
I'm
the-
down with that.
Because of your price tag, you're thinking you're getting him for $1.5 million. I mean, the way your cap set up, you're getting him for $1.5 million.
Listen, you want to play for the Philadelphia Eagles, you got to have some desire in there. Sometimes you got to take a little less
Nelson,
money.
At Cole Beasley, it's got $9 million a year.
Oh, terrible.
But you love us here, so we're gonna give you 4.
Now, question for
I'm
you.
down with that.
Would you rather let Nelson go and then sign the Cole Beasley deal, 4 years for $29?
No.
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 I'd rather have Nelson then.
No.
Okay, so we draw the line somewhere.
Yeah,
that's
that's, we definitely drew that line there.
Absolutely.
We draw a line
God.
somewhere.
Yeah, I almost didn't let you finish that statement. That's how quick that line was drawn right now. We're not even
good.
going to
I'm
finish
happy.
that.
I'm happy. I'm happy. I'm happy about that.
But all right, so let's talk about some of the other move. Malik Jackson coming in, huge move as well. I love the tweet that went out there. Imagine being Malik Jackson and your notification goes off and it says you signed for 3 years at $10 million.
And you're
And
like,
it was
what?
like what?
There's an extra 20 in there. Hello.
You're like, yo, I'm backing out of this deal. You're calling everybody.
I mean, he did an Anthony Barr.
Yeah, you're calling everybody. No, he's backing out of the NFL. He said, I'm done with this. This
Wait,
is the
what?
price tag.
What?
This is what I'm getting a year.
My agent lied.
The tackles on
My
value.
agent lied.
But to the linebacker concern, which I believe we'll draft one at some point here. But to the linebacking concern outside of Nigel is, that's why you got 2 good D tackles. They got to eat up blockers and create some free roam for your linebacker core. So hopefully we'll be all right there.
Malik Jackson next to Fletcher Cox. I just want to commend Howie for doing it because it's $1 million less than Timmy Jernigan overall.
It's
And
essentially.
I think he's a better pass rusher. But as far as the
You don't have
run
the neck.
game,
You don't have the neck. You don't have the neck
letting the
issue.
back thing in. But as a run defender, Malik Jackson can leave. He can improve. He can improve.
Oh, he's one of the worst.
yeah. I mean,
He's one of the worst in the league.
Who, Malik Jackson?
Malik
and
Jackson.
stopping the run. My homeboy's pretty bad.
He's pretty bad.
He's pretty bad. But the good thing is, hopefully we're not in that position, and Nigel Bradford's running around like a chicken with his head cut off, and gives Fletcher Cox more.
Well, hold that. Maybe then and maybe you draft that D tackle in the first 2 rounds is something.
It's something that's still
you
valuable.
see because
Absolutely.
maybe that guy plays a little bit more rundowns, and they love to do this. And
but for $10 million, I don't need you to play rundowns.
Well, yeah.
You feel what I'm saying?
Well,
you're talking about Malik.
You're saying you're going to need him to play rundowns?
Not
if you're getting double-digit sacks.
Rotation.
Yeah, because they love, like, not saying every time he's only coming in on third downs or passing downs.
Yeah.
But, maybe that's where they draft another D tackle, and his snaps aren't as high as they were in Jacksonville. So now a guy who doesn't like playing the run at all plays a little bit more run because his snaps are down a little bit. But it can't get worse than Michael Bennett either because he didn't play the run at all either.
No.
And he got double-digit sacks.
He took plays off. Let's say it like that.
Which is even worse.
When he plays,
that's even worse.
When he tries to play the run, he is very good at the run. But when
I'm saying his value was good because he got after the quarterback. And that's how you win. You got to get after him.
Yeah.
You got to get after guys.
I look at it exactly how he said it. Is that we kind of were all like, oh, okay, that's when we saw the real price tag of the contract. We were like, okay, that's more reasonable. That's more believable. And I know some people are like, that's kind of high. But just look at it this way: they're basically paying him what they would have paid Timmy Jernigan before the injury. Before the injury, that was essentially his contract. Now they found a replacement who's, like you said, better pass rusher, maybe not as good against the run, but it's that other guy who can capitalize off double teams that Cox gets. And in 2018, we didn't have that.
And
you
he's
need
more
that.
talented. I love Timmy. I really do. I love Timmy. But he's more talented. He's a Pro Bowler. He's a guy that creates a ton of havoc in the passing game. And that's what you want.
Yep.
And you're right. To Pete's point, again, the allow one-on-one for Fletcher Cox, arguably the best D tackle in football. And then now you're talking about 2 guys get after the quarterback. And then, I really like how our D-line's shaping out.
Yeah.
Because, we're getting Derek Barnett back too. I like what we got Brandon Graham for because essentially Howie felt the market and felt that these guys are all going to get franchised.
Have you seen? Did you see
money.
Zadarius Smith?
But
Zadarius
this
Smith,
is a good
oh my
deal.
God.
4 years, 66.
But a guy wants to still be here, and you can get a guy to stay here to finish his career here.
Exactly.
And be an Eagle his whole career, and that's what you're doing here. So I like that deal now. And now him and Barnett are your two outside guys, and again, you're probably going to draft the D lineman of some sort.
Yes.
Yeah.
And probably even more
still
than one.
That's along with somewhere along the D line, whether it be interior or edge, and then also offensive tackle.
And
regardless
running back,
of what happened,
or your three
regardless
best player
of what
on the
happened,
board.
yeah. Regardless of what happened with the signing of Jason Peters or Brandon Graham, that does not change the fact that offensive tackle and defensive line are still at the top. They need long-term answers, especially at offensive tackle. You need to get someone this is Jason Peters' last leg. This is it. But they signed him because they do not have any faith in Big V or Jordan Mailata. And you can debate me all you want, but the proof is in the numbers. They do not have that faith, and rightfully so. Big V is not the guy. He is rotational backup guy. He is not a starter that you can rely on for the whole season. Right. So you need a long-term answer. This is Jason Peters' last season. They absolutely have to get someone early in the draft to fill in after this season to be that long-term answer for years to come for the Eagles.
And for the Eagles, I'm not writing out the fact that Vinny Curry could still be a comeback guy on this team as well.
Oh, absolutely.
And be part of the rotation.
Absolutely, yeah.
I'm still keeping my eyes out for him, and I think that he's a very good possibility to come back on this team.
Yeah.
Hey, since we're bringing people back, so hey.
Over on the Facebook, the fam, we got a lot of OBJ that traded to the Browns here.
Wait, OBJ traded to the Browns?
You don't say.
Jake Friel says Baker Mayfield's beyond happy right now. Ralph Del Vecchio says that the Browns stole Odell.
I wouldn't say stole him.
Well, I mean, Jabril wasn't getting a lot of. He was getting snaps, but I don't think he was in their long-term plans.
Yeah,
I mean,
but with the way trade values go in the NFL, I mean, you saw what AB was traded for. Now, granted, he's older, but you saw what AB was traded for, and
AB is older though.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, you got a first and a third and a young player. I mean, I think that's actually pretty good value. In terms of trades.
It's a reasonable return. I'm not jumping for joy out of it because that first round pick is only what is it, 17, 19? 17. It's not like it's a top 5, top 10 pick.
Right.
So to try to get an elite talent like OBJ in that range, you're reaching a little bit. That's not, you can't really expect that. It's possible, but the chances, history-wise, the percentage are pretty low.
Yeah, I just think when I'm sitting here and we're as you guys are talking, part of my mind is just like, damn, I wish I was a Cleveland fan, like a part of me, because what's the main reason why Kansas City didn't beat New England and didn't go to the Super Bowl was what? Kareem Hunt wasn't on the field. They couldn't run the ball efficiently. Like, what that does, we just talked about it with DeSean as it pertains to the Eagles, and we talked about it with Nelson, what Alshon's going to see, what Ertz is going to see. And regardless, it's going to see a light box because DeSean can take the top off. Now you have two guys, Callaway and Beckham, that can just outrun everybody. And then you got Juice on the under route. Let's not forget, David Njoku is a freaking athlete at tight end. And now you got Kareem Hunt and Nick Chubb. If I'm Howie, I'm on the phone. I'm trying to get Nick Chubb.
No, they won't give him the Chubb.
You don't think so?
They won't give him the Chubb. There's too much at risk.
Or at least Duke Johnson.
Duke Johnson.
I think
absolutely.
Duke would be a possibility.
Absolutely.
Here, yeah.
I think that with Hunt, there's too much unknown still for them to completely just say, okay, now Chubb is expendable. I think it was more of like it's a low risk, high reward thing with Hunt where, okay, let's take a 1-year flyer on this guy. We'll see what his suspension is if it happens, and then we'll go from there.
I'm still making the call.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
due diligence.
Yeah,
due diligence.
I'm still making that call.
Due diligence, and then if it turns out that Duke Johnson's the guy that they're looking to move, you take Duke Johnson as our next Sproles. He's our next Sproles, and on our team, you take Duke. But it would be really, 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 really difficult for me to see them getting rid of Chubb.
I mean, you just hit up Gettleman and be like, hey, man, you know there's more than one team in the NFC East you can do business.
Rob Brakeman says, people who don't like the DeSean trade didn't watch how inept the Eagles' deep threats were last year. Now they have one of the best burners of all time.
Yeah.
100%. I mean,
Period.
That's been a problem for them. I mean,
it's a problem for them since he was here.
Well,
yeah.
I would agree because Torrey Smith, because of his reputation, was able to command some of that attention and at times make plays. I think for him, what his impact and legacy, I think, was more of the leadership aspect in the end.
Yeah.
But you talk about a guy that will be able to get on this field and finally fill that need that, as you said, consistently has not been able to be that burner down the field. This is it's unbelievable that they got him back.
No, I'll clarify. I want to clarify because I always do. I'm still sticking by the fact that Nelson Aguilar is a deep threat. It's just a different type of deep threat. Nelson stretches the field from the slot. He doesn't do it from the Z position. You needed that Z position guy who can move and who can line up on the outside and stretch the field that way. Because what that does is it stretches the safety to one side. So you don't have that type of thing. So that's where it was lacking. They still had a deep threat in Nelson, but because he excels in the slot as opposed to outside, he's much more efficient and better in the slot. It's not the same. Like when you're running a post route from the slot, you still have to deal with that over top safety. If you're facing cover 3, it's not the same type of coverage that shifts and moves. But when you have someone on the other side at the Z, either left or right side, and then you have to get that attention from the safety, it gives you a whole different type of look. Than having someone be a deep threat from the slot. So that's the difference. That's the main difference, and that's what's going to open up a lot more having both Nelson and DeSean. Because now what are you going to do? You're going to now. This is also a reason why I like Nelson here more than Tate, is because with Nelson, if he can run deep routes too, they're going to shade to DeSean's side. Well, Nelson can go right free guns to the empty side of the field as well. He can run deep, so you have two options you can throw to deep, not just one anymore. So it all opens up so much more of this offense and gives them such a much more dynamic look than before.
Oh yeah, his yards per catch will definitely go up.
Yeah,
Nelson Aguilar's. Yep.
Yeah.
Big time.
Yeah.
It's just
it just came up on the phone too. DeSean Jackson as he arrived in Philadelphia. I'm excited and blessed. I love it. He's so happy to be back.
He's happy to be back. That's good.
So happy to be back. I love it.
Probably grown up in a lot of ways.
I agree.
You know,
I sure hope so.
He's 32 years old
I sure
now.
hope so.
And,
yeah.
I mean, let's say it honestly, if we get Wentz from 2017-18, is that arguably the best quarterbacks DeSean ever had throwing the ball?
Yes.
Oh, yeah, 100%.
Oh, absolutely.
He was here from – it's crazy, too. The eras – we talked about this earlier in our chat. The eras that he's covered, he's played with McNabb and Vic and Kevin Cobb and Sam Bradford and Nick Foles. And now he's here for Carson. He's literally been here
through all that,
through all those tenures, and it's crazy. And you look at guys like a McNabb, who, whether you love or hate the guy, is at this point, until we'll see how it goes for Wentz, is the greatest quarterback of this franchise's history. Right. And he's coming, and now he's there with the young pup with a lot to contribute. Yeah. He could be the guy that finally gets Carson to the next step.
Especially
because I do believe that one of Carson's not major issues, but one of the things that he hasn't quite harnessed on yet is throwing the deep ball consistently. But now you have a guy like DeSean, who he's going to hit his points. He's going to be there when the ball's thrown, and if not, he can get under the ball. He's a burner. He can be able to create that kind of space. So this should be really big, a really big telling sign of where Carson's going to be at over the next 2 years or so.
And I think what's different now and what makes it even more dangerous now is when we had the first rodeo with DeSean, he was our wide receiver one. He was our primary wide receiver. You take DeSean out of our game plan, you eliminate him, our offense struggled, and we saw that over and over. What happened in the 2013 playoff game against the Saints? They eliminated DeSean by doing press coverage, and we could not move the ball. So now he is not our number one. You could argue he's. If you want to go and base it off of targets, I can guarantee you almost that Nelson's going to get more targets than DeSean.
Yeah.
So in that way, DeSean's going to be the number 3 wide receiver, but not in terms of importance. Like, you know what I mean? Like, but it's different because now he's not our only legit wide receiver. But you have Alshon and you have Nelson as well as the tight ends.
But what's going to be interesting too is looking at the way that the offenses from his first tenure were constructed to the way that the offense is constructed now. Back then, he was for all intents and purposes your number 1 wide receiver, and he had a really good tight end in Brent Selleck. But he did have that number 1 back. He had Brian Westbrook, and then he had LaShawn McCoy.
Yeah.
Now he's coming into where it's a coach who came from the same coaching tree, but has totally taken a different scope of things as far as that offense, to where there is a lot more of those passing weapons. He has an elite tight end in Zach Ertz. He has a very, very good, strong, and it waivers who you talk to, but an Alshon Jeffrey, a very reliable, very good,
opposite him,
big number 1 wide receiver in Alshon Jeffrey. And I will give Nelson the props that he's probably the best slot receiver, too, that he's played for or played with.
Yep.
And they go by the running back by committee. You know, they don't have that. So there's going to be so much more on the passing game with this team that he's going to be able to contribute to. So I'm going to be interested in that, too, because we've seen him.
I think you need that guy on the outside that can take a top off to help your running game, too. So
Absolutely.
I think that goes both ways as well. You know, to really take some pressure off your running game as well. Yeah. You know, you're big time and explosive.
Particularly when you're running the RPO.
Yeah, well, if you're explosive offensively – if you're explosive in the pass game offensively, it helps your running game out tremendously. Yeah. You know, especially for a team that wants to throw to get leads and run to beat you up.
Yeah. It's a couple things with that. It's funny that 2 guys in the league who are true burners but can have good hands. Look, John Ross from Cincinnati, first-round pick, can't catch the ball.
And got hurt running his 40.
Right, got hurt. You have Ted Ginn.
Can't catch.
And he can't catch as good as DeSean, but he's probably the second best deep threat who can catch with his hands overall, because he's been in the league for almost 10 years, just almost like DeSean.
Yeah.
But the interesting thing is, I forget where I seen it at, but the routes that Wentz is really efficient at.
Yeah. What's his name? He does a lot of like in-depth stats. I forget.
It's not
analyst. He did. Oh God.
It wasn't Evan Silva, was it?
No, it's not Evan Silva. It's the other guy. Go ahead. I'll look it up.
A lot of the routes that Wentz is really efficient at are routes that DeSean creates great separation, where there's comebacks, deep digs, post routes. And that's where, I hate to go back to this place, the same play that Nelson shook Patrick Peterson out of the shoes.
Sure.
But you see how long it was a post. You see how long that took to get developed. And DeSean can do that. He killed Malcolm with the post the first game of week 2, the first play of week 2.
Warren Sharp.
Yeah, Warren Sharp. He says he put a chart out there, and he says looked at all the stats where Wentz, and so just to look in this offense. And I will say this: you said we're going to do running back committee. we don't have a running back yet.
I agree with you. I agree.
Yet.
Just the way that the scheme under Doug has been, though, it's always been some sort of a committee of 3 guys.
And I think that'll remain
continue.
I expect that to stand.
It might be. I mean,
going.
I'm hoping it's a duo and they get 2 legit guys. And just kind of like how it was with Jai and Blunt, except I would like to have one guy at least who can be a dual threat.
I want Corey to go back to being that number 3 guy. I would love if they would bring a Jai back on a cheap deal. One year.
My knees are better than Jai's knees.
I'm just saying, though.
Cheap 1 year deal, though. It wouldn't.
Cheap 1 year deal, low risk, high reward, and then trade for a guy like Duke, and you're good to go. I would like that rotation right there. Plus, you do have Adams then as your 4th guy who can continue to develop.
Okay.
I wouldn't hate that.
I think it's time.
I wouldn't hate that.
I mean, I think they're going to go look second tier free agency wise. If not, bring a guy like Jay back.
What about CJ Anderson?
And then they're going to draft. They're going to draft one in the first 3 rounds.
I could see them drafting a running back in the second or third round as well.
You can't continue to get away with smoke and mirrors with it and throwing things up against the wall and hoping it sticks.
And
at some point, you have to value it.
Yeah.
And not only value it, get it goddamn right.
And it is
because they've tried to fucking value it. And he can't even value it. Hopefully he lets Joe pick it. I'll put everything else. Running back, I'm leaving the room.
When you go top to bottom in this draft in regards to overall, it's a deep running back draft too. So you can get a guy
on day 3. There's not a lot of day 1 or day 2
I know who
guys.
I want. He's not healthy right now, but I've been preaching his name.
Bryce Love?
Damn right.
He's good.
Torn ACL. No.
I will say,
but this might be the time to get him if you can go out, bring Jay back for a year.
Oh, everybody's coming off torn ACL. I love it. I love it.
Turf monsters, man.
It's a twisted ankle nowadays.
We talked game.
Oh, God, go ahead. Me and Ty talked about it on the weekly roundup, the new show that ATD has, which was great. I was chiming in for a little bit, and I think that people are so quick to be like, oh, Howie and Doug, they don't prioritize it. They don't care. They'll never draft a running back early. People forget that in 2017 they were targeting Dalvin Cook. The Vikings got him. Last year they were heavily considering Darius Geis, but the baggage around him made it too good to not take that trade back in the 2nd round. So it's not like they're like, we don't like them, we'll never pick them. They're not considering it. They do their homework on guys, and historically over the past 2 years, there have been running backs at where they've drafted at, they've been interested in. It just hasn't panned out. The board hasn't panned out to them. I think that honestly, if they do, I don't know who they like yet. It's still very early. But if there is a guy there that they do like, and he's available at 25 or at their one of their 2nd round picks, they will not hesitate to grab him.
Because they need to look around the league. It's time to look around the league, and I'm talking more in the 1st round, right? Yeah. I mean, we can talk about them valuing it because I don't think that they don't disvalue it.
Yeah.
I don't think they're dumb like that to disvalue any position, right? But I think in 1st round wise, and I'm not a big advocate that you have to take one in the 1st round, but 1st round wise, they don't value it, and they don't value middle linebacker in the 1st round, or haven't, or their guy hasn't been there in the 1st round.
Okay.
Right. Anyway, we want to slice
perfectly
it.
understandable.
Something like that. Because
perfectly understandable.
It's just what's happened. We haven't had one.
Yeah.
But I think that they need to look at some of the things that's happened around the league and look at New England, right? I mean,
Sony Michel.
Yeah, look right in
Sony Michel.
We never thought New England would take a running back in the
Sony
1st
Michel
round.
did. Bill Belichick said, F you guys, I'm taking a running back late.
Brandon Chubb was right after that in the 2nd round, but that 1st pick or 2nd pick,
right,
wherever it was,
it's the same thing.
It's the same thing, right? But you look at it that 2 successful guys came in, made offenses better right away.
Yep.
And I'm not a believer in going out.
Love it.
And even if Le'Veon wasn't a crumb,
right,
I'm still not a believer in going and giving running backs 40, 50 million
He's
guaranteed.
Not getting that.
Because I'll tell you why, or even 30. Because I'll tell you why. Like name a team with that star running back that's won a Super Bowl.
Yeah.
That's got paid.
I think
closest was Gurley.
A big part. I get what you're saying. You're not completely
right.
Now we don't know what he's.
You're not completely wrong. I get what you're saying.
We don't know what he's going to be.
I think a part of that is because the new contracts, big contracts for running backs, have just started to take place. Yeah. Gurley just got paid. Who was the other one? Was it Freeman?
David Johnson.
David Johnson just got paid. So you might start seeing it trend a little bit toward that way. Right. But I get your overall point.
I get your overall point. Now, New England doesn't help it. Now, but they just didn't pay for theirs yet.
Yeah, they didn't pay for theirs yet.
They didn't pay for theirs yet.
They won't.
But that's what it's been, though. It's been guys that haven't necessarily got their big money yet, but they've gotten there because they're not using up all their cap money on that position.
Well,
there's still value in it, but just not using.
What about a guy like Tevin Coleman? If he's out
I'm
there.
okay with him. Like I'm not.
I need something else with him though.
Like
no. And he's your 1A.
He's a 10-touch guy.
And then you need someone to split with him.
And as long as guys understand that that's what you're getting.
Well, maybe
and that is exactly my point.
But let's be real. He's a second tier, one of them second tier backs on the market.
You can get Tevin.
He's that second tier back.
He's a second tier guy. You can get Tevin Coleman, get someone else to be like that early down guy. Because the way Tevin Coleman was used, he was still underutilized in the receiving game in Atlanta. But he can absolutely run the ball. He's not going to be a workhorse feature back, but he can be like your 1A. Like you guys remember
change of pace, right,
change of pace. Remember how Jay Ajayi was used? He was getting 12 to 15 carries. Tevin Coleman can get 12 to 15 touches when you mix in runs and catches. He can give you that. Then you split the rest within the other guy. That's like people whenever we bring up Tevin Coleman, people jump on my back saying, "Oh, he's not Le'Veon Bell. He can't be a workhorse." I never said he can be a workhorse. Right. He's a rotational guy, but he's a very, very, very good rotational guy that you can have as your 1A or 1B, whatever you want to say. As a duo, you get someone else.
He can make a guy miss. You know, he's got a big play in him a little bit. But the thing is that's
a little bit. He's
that's the point, though. That's the point.
He's fast.
He's not going to have that big play in him. Right. You know, getting 20 touches a game. You know, and he might even have that big play if you got to rely on him on 15. Yeah. But if you can say I can rely on him on 10 to 12 touches a game because I have that first round guy and a Michelle or a Chubb, and that's where that value of that
duo.
Money. That's where the value of that
there.
Money pays off, where it looks good. Now, you go out and get him, and you don't have that other guy,
you need something else.
Then to me, it's a bad deal. It's essentially a bad deal in air quotes.
So perfect example.
Because then you have to rely on him too much. Like Atlanta had to do for a little bit. They tried to, and they said it's not him. It's not him. It's not him.
So best ideal situation, Le'Veon goes to Chicago. You trade for Jordan Howard.
Look at you.
I'd love to get Jordan Howard.
And then you sign Tevin Coleman, and I'm good.
I'm not mad at you. Look at you. I am mad at you a little bit because that makes Chicago a little scarier.
I've never been, and Chrome knows this.
Even though we don't like Mitchell.
Chrome knows this. I'm not as high on Jordan Howard as most people, but he's still a good back.
I'm a Jordan Howard guy.
If you're telling me we can get Jordan Howard and Tevin Coleman.
You handcuff that together?
I take it all day.
And honestly, that's probably to both of your points. Because you said I need something else, and probably with Jordan Howard you need something else as well.
And neither one are like star guys to me, but I'm still
they're
talent.
They're high-level second tier, though.
I'm doing this over to Walter to Ben. I'm starting to walk. Yeah. I'm not running, but I'm really getting good. And my hands are going fast. The legs are going slow.
They're much better talents than the guys we have now.
Absolutely.
And that's including Corey Clement. Yeah. I don't want to hear this Corey Clement nonsense.
But I would love Corey Clement as my third
guy.
Your
third guy, yes.
I would love him because we saw as your third guy in the Super Bowl, an explosive play guy here and there.
Yes.
He can explosive play guy.
Your third guy, yes.
Because I know you said Josh Adams, but I would love for him to be nowhere even around the practice.
Better yet. So in the first round, when you look at the talent, you look at the defensive line, it's deep now from top end talent, it drops off. Even kind of someone with running back, when we look at Josh Jacobs, and I even seen in YouTube.
You said defensive talent, you said?
As far as talent groups overall in the draft. I see some people saying Josh Jacobs, I don't know about Alabama running back. He's had less than 300 touches, people. He's
fresh.
He's fresh.
He's not one of the guys who've been through the gauntlet.
And we talked about not being able to draft, and what's the Achilles heel for Howie. He's always been running back and linebacker. But we have Joe Douglas from Baltimore. He drafts the shit out of linebackers. When you look at the top-end talent in this draft, it's Devin Bush and Devin White, and then it falls off a fucking cliff.
Oh, my God. Dude,
so if one of them are there at 25, you talk about sideline to sideline speed.
You have to get – I don't think they fall, though. That's the thing. Because after the Devins, he's absolutely – after the Devins, there's no linebacker. There's no one.
But this is where that if you're going to target that position – right, early like that, then you have to use some of your assets in this draft and move up.
Yeah.
Because you might be able to get one at 10 to 12.
If Devin Bush starts to fall.
I think that's the latest you're going to get one.
If Devin Bush starts to fall for some God reason and is starting to be near 18, 19, I am Howie. I am like – I'm trying to move up to 20 to try to get him. That would be very difficult.
This is what we talked about. It's funny because – we talked about essentially 4 positions of need in this draft. And the funny thing, the one offensive tackle when we talk about these positions has fell a little bit when it's obviously a year where you have to maybe address that offensive tackle. Now, to me, again, because you have 4 positions in need, now it's, hey, if I'm at 25, which one of them 4 positions do I value the guy to highest?
I think it's because
you know what I mean, and that's what it's going to come down to.
The way the board is falling and mock drafts are falling, I think at 25 there's no value guy at offensive tackle you can get.
No.
I think you're talking about second.
Linebacker from Seattle, who?
KJ Wright.
KJ
Wright.
Wright.
About KJ Wright. I mean, you can wait on him.
Did he get released? Did
he get released? Yeah. Did KJ Wright get released?
No, I think he's just an upright free agent.
Okay, he's
really?
Free agent.
I think he's upright.
I like KJ Wright.
All right, yeah.
If you told me Bobby,
it's better than what? It's better than
Wagner,
what? Well,
I think you can wait on him.
Up.
I think you can wait on KJ.
You ready for a ride?
There's no rush to get KJ. I think.
No. But I like the name.
Yeah.
That's all. I mean, from what we have, if you don't, these are that second tier guys, third tier guys that if you don't get maybe your guy in the draft. These are some of the guys that could be available after that.
Yeah.
Like your LeGarrette Blunts of the world that sat around a little long.
He signed it, but he's not a free agent though. He signed 2 years.
Who?
LeGarrette.
Oh, I want to talk about LeGarrette.
I'm just saying. I've seen some people say they wanted to come back. He signed a 2-year deal.
And one final point to the whole drafting a running back late thing. I think what people need to also realize, and I tried making this point before, is why it's so important for not just the Eagles, but for any team to realize that drafting a running back is not a waste early, is because, you can find a running back late, but just like any other position, you can find any other position late. And to the other spectrum of it, just because you pick a running back late, and we've seen this, Donnell Pumphrey, whoever names you want to run out there, Wendell Smallwood, it doesn't mean that they pan out.
Right.
I went back and I started doing some research. I'm not done, but the frequency of success from the running back position when you draft them in the first round is higher than any other position. You want to make sure you hit on your first round pick. Drafting a running back has more success rate than other positions. So you want to that's something that you factor. That's why a first round pick on a running back is not a waste. But you just have to make sure you have already the quarterback. I would never pick a running back over a quarterback if he's there.
So it just came up on my phone that New York Giants fans are having an absolute meltdown right now on Twitter.
I would.
And some of them are.
Oh shoot! Sorry, I'll get into it after you.
No, I was just saying, and some of them are even. Obviously, they're Knicks fans too, because there's a lot of Porzingis and Odell things being thrown in here. It is a rough time to be a New York fan right now. Oh my God! I mean, they are blowing up. They got somebody with a Giants tattoo saying he's going to get it covered up because it's an embarrassment now to have it. Guys,
the 49ers just traded a second-round pick for D Ford. Gave him 5 years, $87 million.
So they went all in on Quan Alexander and D Ford.
Are they a 3-4 team?
No, they're 4-3.
4-3.
Yeah.
So.
2 good moves, though.
2 really good moves.
Really a lot of money.
Well, I mean, the league's going up, obviously, but I mean, that's 2 real good. That's 2 real good football news for the Niners under the radar.
Well, they needed a pass rusher.
That's one of the best middle linebackers in football.
If I'm them,
I'm
still taking Nick Bosa, though. That does not change.
Oh no!
One thing they are taking.
You load up because you got to get to the quarterback.
Yeah, you need to. They don't have a speed rusher at all on their team.
And the rumor was Earl Thomas wants to go there so he can play against Seattle team.
Well, listen. With what they got over there, that's a makings of a real good defense.
Oh, absolutely.
Some olders, but some young and some middle that are good football players. D Ford's a good football player.
Yeah.
And Quan Alexander I love. Right. I've always loved Quan Alexander. Tampa's just always been a mess.
All right, we're going to be going to break in a sec. I'm going to end up with this comment because Greg, being the crumb that he is, says, to the poll, like D-Jax deal for 1 year, not thrilled with an extension. That's where the question lies.
What do you say?
We needed a deep threat.
He's not.
But didn't need more years.
The guy's like anti-everything.
I told you. I
knew
it.
He's always
I saved that.
When the whole family loves something, Greg's got to be the guy to be like, I just don't buy it. I don't buy it. Remember the gang affiliations? Remember that? You guys forget about the gang affiliations?
Viewer discretion is advised.
Jeffrey just forgot about gangs? Freaking anti-happiness, Greg. Anti-happiness. We won a Super Bowl fight. The only guy who didn't want to go to abroad. That's dirty over there. I ain't like fucking lame excuses. You're becoming a roach.
We appreciate everything you guys contributed. You guys were flying. I didn't read a whole lot of the comments because it was a whole lot of just OBJ to the Browns stuff. But we'll try to address some of the other things. We'll talk about the Hicks move. We'll continue to talk about needs and free agency and whatnot. Obviously, first half brought to you by Gibson Mayer LLC, our certified public accountants. Make them yours. GibsonMayer.com. Specialized physical therapy. You can find them in Burlington, Cherry Hill, Princeton, New Jersey. SpecializedPhysicalTherapy.com. ScanzanoSports.com. Peter, Tom, Chrome Chucks, Brodo killing on the ones and twos. We're going to go over on the YouTube side. We got a lot more Eagles talk, free agency talk coming, guys. Click the link at the top of the page. We'll drop it in the comments section. Appreciate all you guys over there on Twitter, Periscope, and on Facebook, YouTube.
Sorry, this team couldn't close an automatic door. Yeah. You know what I mean? That door can close for you. They can't close.
Little Sixers talk to cap off the first half. All right, guys, we'll continue to talk on the other side. What's up, fam? Again, Tuesday nights, Birds of a Feather live from the Real Talk Studios on a2dradio.com. We're over on the YouTube, and where else are we on now, Ryan?
Periscope.
We're on Periscope. We had some
PCP?
technical difficulties in the first half, so we're giving Periscope the second half of Birds of a Feather. We got Chrome, Chucks. We got Peter joining us over here from Philly Sports Guys. Tom Arnone joined us on the first half. After a great Sixers win there, he respectfully bowed out.
The old man had to go to sleep.
Old man's getting tired. We got Ryan Brodo on the ones and twos. We put a headset on him. What's up, Ryan?
What's going on, guys?
Hey, buddy. Ooh,
Hi, Brodo.
Great voice, man.
Hi, Brodo.
I got this mic.
What's up, Brodo?
What's
going on?
That sultry voice.
The bro. Doe.
He's got like the oldest.
Like I want
voice
to put
of
him on my
20
voicemail, like for real. For real. Like I think I'll get more leads and more business.
There you go.
Oh, my
There you
God.
go. There you go.
But yeah, fam, we're brought to you by Gibson Mayer LLC, our certified public accountants. Make them yours. GibsonMayer.com. It's tax season, guys. Contact Gibson Mayer. You want to get it done the right way. And obviously by Specialized Physical Therapy. Find them in Burlington, Cherry Hill, Princeton, New Jersey. And find them on the web, specializedphysicaltherapy.com. Our Scanzano Sports poll question, we talked a lot about in the first half. What was your reaction, or is your reaction, to the DeSean Jackson trade? Don't like it. Depends what happens with Aguilar. Good but not great, or let's go. I think we had a whole lot of let's goes, and then we got the token Greg Milakovic response
kick.
of like it for 1 year, don't need the extension.
One vote.
One vote. One vote. And if you actually look, I'm sure now it makes a lot of sense to me. If you look on the social media where we post the surveys throughout, early in the day, that one vote on the other
Greg.
side is probably Greg.
It's Greg. It's probably Greg.
Where
All
it's like
black.
98 to 2%. And then you do the math and break it down. You're like, all right, it's one vote. It's Greg. It's Greg.
It's Greg.
One vote, Greg.
Real quick, I wanted to read this tweet I saw. I thought it was pretty funny. Matt Harmon, even though I don't like Matt Harmon, he says, the Giants' Twitter account hasn't posted about the trade yet. Imagine what their social media editor is thinking, just staring blankly through the keyboard and into the abyss.
So such a
Like
shame.
I might as well just blow this up. I never use any of these keys. ever
Giants
again.
fans are going ape shit right now on social media.
I had
So
in this one chat group that I'm in. It's just fans from all over the place. It's a couple, it's like 20 guys, and Giants fans. And there's a couple of them says, "I'm just not watching. I'm done. Like I can't."
somebody tweeted a picture of their Giants tattoo, and he said, "I'm getting it covered up because it's an embarrassment to have this on my body now."
Yeah,
Man.
that's bad.
I'm
Shameful.
sure. I doubt he'll actually.
You just
do
hate to
it,
see
but-
it, you know what I mean? Just hate to see it.
Right. And no matter how bad, if the Eagles did something like this, heaven forbid, but I don't think we would just not watch. I don't like. No. It's too much in this to not to do that.
We're gonna shift right back into football, but I have to comment on the Embiid dunk at the
Oh,
end.
yeah.
Oh
please.
my God.
Good Lord.
Please.
Ryan said, man, I wish I had that on camera, the live reaction. We delayed a couple extra seconds to catch the end of the game. It was the last minute and a half. That Embiid dunk was insane.
Insane.
Chucks ran up steps.
I ran up the steps, through the door, opened it again.
Peter was doing Rocky jump arounds.
It was like we were at the dunk contest. We were like Vince Carter. It's over. It's over.
I was
It's
literally,
over.
I'm outside the door here with one eye looking through the crack, and I swear to God, I almost smacked the door open and took the cameras out. Oh.
All production equipment down on the ground.
And you talk about filling the stat sheets
Yeah.
across the board. James Ennis, we said 12.7 rebounds. He's starting to come around a little bit. We need that now.
Yep.
Ben Simmons, 25 points.
10 boards.
10
Was
of
it
18 shooting.
10 of 18, which is a
Yeah.
decent percentage.
10 boards, 8 assists.
10 boards, 8 assists.
Yeah, 26,
Joel,
10, and
17 points, 18 rebounds,
8 blocks or something ridiculous.
five blocks.
I see.
No, it was 5.
Was it 5?
5 blocks and I
I'll pull
think
it up.
4 assists or 5 assists.
So your two young players, the two cornerstones, homegrown players. Don't get me wrong. Tobias Harris is good. Jimmy Butler's good as well. But your
Filling
two
the
homegrown
stat sheet.
players filling the stat sheet. And then finally, hopefully now we know out of James Ennis, Jonathan Simmons, and Mike Scott, it's going to be James Ennis and Mike Scott because we really haven't seen Jonathan Simmons. So, I mean, it was just still nice to get rid of Markelle. But as far as with that, keeping it rolling, getting to crunch time at the end of the season.
You know, the best part about it, too, we had 6 guys in double digits, which is it's the first time we've seen a lot of that because we usually have one guy go off and a lot of them,
So
one guy sleepwalks.
Who didn't we mention?
So Tobias Harris, He went 5 of 12, 1 from 5 from beyond with 11 points, 9 rebounds though. So I mean, he was the quietest.
Still filling the stat sheet.
Yep. James Ennis, it's crazy. James Ennis, look at
12
him.
and 7.
Yeah, exactly. 12 and 7. He was 6 for 7 field goals. Embiid was 6 out of 16, 1 for 3 from beyond.
Second game back.
4 blocks, 19 rebounds.
19. Okay, they must have tacked on another one at the end there.
Hold on. Wait,
got
I'm sorry. Breaking.
Oh.
Per Adam Silverstein. Earl Thomas and the Browns in discussion on a 3-year deal.
Are you
What?
kidding me?
me.
What?
Are we saying Browns Super Bowl? I mean, are we doing this?
I'm going to say it.
I got to get the sound
March
bite
12th, 2019. My
What?
Super Bowl prediction is Browns and Eagles.
And Ralphie D actually did drop that in the comment section before you
Did
read
he?
it too. He said Earl Thomas to the Browns ?
Oh,
And
shit.
exclamation points.
Browns Eagles Super Bowl
now-
this year.
Getting rid of Jabril Peppers doesn't look that bad.
Oh,
It does not
my
look
God.
bad at all. Are you kidding me? That's nothing.
Jesus.
Jesus Christ.
Pittsburgh, this is why you don't let the 3 Bs walk.
Jesus.
You put your faith in the wrong B.
Oh my God.
Jesus.
Oh, my gosh.
AFC North, man, I can't wait to see Cleveland versus Baltimore.
You know what's crazy? Like, it feels like right now free agency has peaked, but we haven't even gotten a Le'Veon yet.
It's still legal tampering.
We're
still
we're not even in
started
the
yet.
actual
Like,
thing.
this is
Yeah.
the actual free agency yet.
This is legal tampering.
24 hours from now, legal, like the actual free agent would just start like 5-6 hours ago. So, where else we going? Drive the ship, Chrome. Drive the ship. Where we going? Where we going? Where we going?
I'm trying to recover from that
That's-
announcement there.
That
Dear
is
freaking Lord.
I mean, so how do we feel about the Hicks signing in Arizona? To me,
Too much money, but
Happy for them.
I'm happy for him.
a lot of money. I wouldn't have bought him back at that price. And we talked. I don't know.
no.
On our show last week, we talked about it, and he was one of those guys. If they bring him back, great. If they don't bring him back, I'm not heartbroken about it. I think they'll fill that need in some way, shape, or form. There's other more pressing needs, and clearly with what he got, I'd rather see them spend the money in some other way anyway. But good for him. Hey, it's a good deal, and Arizona's making some moves out there and improving their defense quite a bit.
Yeah.
So not bad. What do you guys think?
I mean, your best ability is your availability, and this, let's face it, the last 2 years
Hasn't been there.
He just hasn't been there.
Yeah.
So I mean, his first 2 years were good. I mean, obviously he broke Tony Romo's collarbone, and I thank him for that.
I will love him for that forever.
He always played well against the Cowboys, but the last 2 years, no fumbles, no interceptions.
Well, listen, he gave us a great commentator out of the deal as well.
Yes,
Yeah.
he
Oh,
did.
yes, he did.
Yes, he did.
Romo
is the guy.
He is the best.
He
in the
is
business right now.
hands down the best, and I'm okay with
Here it is.
liking
Oh my God.
commentator.
Even on the replay. Oh,
It's insane.
oh,
Talking about that Embiid dunk. Insane.
I'm sorry, family. Sorry, family. But yeah, I mean, I wish him nothing but the best out there. I know that Hassan Riddick is out there, Temple grad. So you pair him out there. I mean, good for them. I think he got 4 years, $26 million.
Yeah,
No, was it more than that? Because he got $20 million guaranteed,
Pull it up right now.
or $19 million guaranteed.
I think it was more than that.
I think it was 4 years, 36.
Because I think on average it was near around 10 or more.
Titans signed
average.
Cameron Wake.
Titans got Cameron
I
White.
would have liked Cameron Wake. That's
too.
to see if Vinny Carey signed it though. So these,
Yeah.
as we see what
gonna
Howie
start-
does, that first wave goes, and then the second wave comes. So that means if Vinny Curry's still out there, you never know.
Little bit of an interesting developing story. So about an hour ago,
Again?
Brashad Perryman re-signed with the Browns.
Yeah.
Now he reportedly wants out of the contract.
Okay.
After just agreeing to it, people think it has to do with the Odell thing.
I would too.
Probably, yeah.
I would too.
Yeah,
I mean, that was another guy who was supposed to be a burner. They coming out of UCF or USF.
It's one of them, yeah.
One of those.
Drafted by the Ravens.
Yeah, and he couldn't catch. It was fast. Ran a 4.340.
physical, athletic, but not just doesn't. He's not a wide
Horrible,
receiver, yeah.
horrible
Horrible
hairline.
hands.
And his hairline is horrible. Oh God.
And talking about guys still out there, Mark Ingram's still out there as well.
Yeah. All right, he was
Not interested. I'm not interested.
Not interested. Now, I want to speak to a point that Chucks had made on the first half when he was. Go ahead.
Real quick, the Jordan Hicks deal was 4 years, $36 million, a $12 million signing bonus, and $20 million of it fully guaranteed.
Yeah.
Dion says UCF. Thank you, Dion.
Yeah. Okay.
UCF.
So you were speaking about the efficiency of drafting a running back early.
Yeah.
And I've been preaching on even on our show, Philly Sports Guys Friday nights, younger, cheaper.
Mm-hmm.
And let me know, besides Le'Veon, we haven't even seen it yet, or Gurley, which we only seen it a little bit for 13 games. Running backs really don't make it at value on that second contract. It's usually that first contract
Yep.
where you can get them cheap on a rookie deal and get elite level production.
Yeah.
And with Carson and us having to sign him soon and give him big money, that's what you're going to need. We look at Dallas right now. Dallas is in a conundrum because they have to sign, they have to pay Dak, and they're going to pay Zeke. And Dallas messed up because they came out and said Zeke's extension starts at what Gurley got at 45 guaranteed.
Yeah.
It's just hard to build a team like that. We see these teams with all this cap space. It's no teams that made it to the playoffs.
Yeah.
Except for the Colts.
Yeah.
And let's be honest, Frank Wright is a hell of a coach.
Yeah.
He's a hell of a coach. So, and you don't see the Colts out here. They're not being stupid. They're not. They have the most cap space in the world. They haven't signed anybody of note.
Yeah. That's
so,
true. I mean, that's very true. They might be waiting out that first wave, and then waiting to see try to sign like a bunch of second, third wave guys. But I mean, you're absolutely right. I'm still someone who is. There are circumstances where paying the running back is something you need to do. I still believe that there are always limits to that. There are always circumstances like we talked about it briefly last week, but the Gurley thing is a freak accident. You guys pointed that out and you acknowledged that. None of us knew about that,
right.
And I think that in hindsight, even if going out of it 10 times out of 10, if we knew the same stuff, I'd still give him the money. Like Saquon Barkley, when he comes at the end of his rookie contract, you pay him. Like those top elite guys or running backs, you pay them because you're not gonna the drop off. We talk about the drop off from elite talent to next. Elite running backs like a Gurley in his prime, if he's healthy, like a Saquon. I will include Zeke in that. That drop off from them to the next tier, it is significant. And people that are, and I'll say it, people that are ignorant won't admit it. But when you really look at it, they impact the game so much. The only thing is, and Ryan and I always talk about every week almost, is that you need a quarterback though, because they are the complementary piece. If you don't have a quarterback, you're not going to get anywhere with that running back. But if you have that quarterback, the running back can make a world of a difference for that quarterback because the running back can do everything else. You talk about how important a quarterback is because they touch the ball every play. They make the calls. It's a quarterback-driven league. But you're talking about a player who can make an impact on both facets as well is a running back.
Yeah.
So you that's why I've been talking about how important it is to get a guy who's a dual threat. I always say that we need a dual threat. We can't just, you have a lot of people talking about, let's get Benny Snell. Let's get all these early down guys like a Mark Ingram. Well, Mark Ingram can catch a bit, but Latavius Murray. They keep throwing these guys out, and I'm like, yeah, I mean they're solid backs. They're early down backs, run between the tackles well. But I want a dual threat, and then people will always be like, no, running the ball is more important than catching the ball. And I'm like, I keep saying in response, I never said that running the ball isn't important. Right. I'm saying that if you get a guy who can do both, that is an ultimate weapon. That is someone who can maximize your offense so well because they can impact it on any facet of the game. And so that's why those elite guys I think are worth that kind of money. But you do make a good point. You have to make sure that if you draft a guy just like the Patriots did, Sonny Michel, you capitalize, you make the most out of those rookie contracts.
No, and you're absolutely right. And I've always been a big proponent. When you look at the running back position, and not even just no names, just look at skill levels. You have your average, you have your above average, and you have your elite. Nowhere is the gap bigger between elite talent at the position and above average.
Yeah.
Where you look at a running back, say even a Corey Clement, we've seen him hit wide open holes and get 10, 15 yards. If that's an elite talent running back,
he's gone.
He's gone. That's a touchdown.
He's gone. I mean? Corey Clement doesn't. You don't. And I say all the time here, Corey Clement doesn't make any tackles miss in space. He doesn't force any missed tackles.
Right.
He's in space. He will not. And that's the difference between him and an elite guy.
Yeah. And now, but look at the trade that the Giants just made. I don't know if Saquon's going to get that second deal. If he does get the second deal, is he going to be worth it? We're looking at a kid now, he's going to have 300 carries every year for the next 2 or 3 years because they don't have – I mean, Sterling Shepard is nice in the slot. Don't get me wrong. I would love to have him. Everett Ingram as well. But what other outside wide receiver presence do you have?
Yeah, nothing.
There's nothing there.
Nothing. That, like you said, Ingram and Shepard, there's nothing. No one on the outside.
Right.
Not anymore. So – I mean, with Saquon, the good thing about Saquon is he can catch the ball too. He's as deadly of a receiver as well. But I mean, let's see. I hear Eckler is tied to what? I don't know.
I'm trying to find it now.
I don't believe that. I don't believe that.
Details on the Cameron Wake signing. 3 years. He's 37 years old.
Really?
3 years.
He's old.
$27 million, $10 million guaranteed.
That makes the Malik Jackson signing look so much better.
Seems like, I mean, listen, I mean, I know he's been, 2 of the last 3 years he was very productive, double-digit sack numbers, but his sack numbers went down last year. And I would have to feel like there's got to be some concern when you're talking about 3 years, and it's only a $10 million guarantee, but there has to be some concern that the productivity is going to be going down. And if that's the case, that's a lot of money to a guy at 37 years old as a pass rusher.
I mean, like
That's 40.
I mean, he got a late start because he played in the the Canadian League.
CFL,
so like his age he was always played younger than what his age is.
Right.
But still, even if you like factor that in, he's up there. He's up there, and
That screams to me for a team in Tennessee that was so close and really came into free agency without a plan.
Yeah.
To be honest with you, now they're just spending money for the sake of spending money.
Yeah, they're one of the teams. I was kind of hopeful on them last year with their new Matt LaFleur and everything, and how Marcus Mariota showed out in the playoffs the year before. I was hopeful on them, but they're still showing that they still got a lot to work on.
To me, Tennessee. Granted, I'm happy Odell went to Cleveland, and that's a good situation for him. But Tennessee is a team that should have pushed all in for AB and Odell.
Yeah, because I wouldn't have.
Because you got Matt LaFleur. You don't have Matt LaFleur anymore. He's Green Bay, but you have a young quarterback, got a decent running game. We spoke about that combo back. You got Deion Lewis and Derrick Henry. Mm-hmm. You have no wide receivers.
No wide receivers, nothing.
You know what I mean?
I'm not seeing anything on Aguilar with the.
I don't know who's making
Deion and Deion. What's up, Deion? That's our boy, man. He's in here every week. Deion put in there that he's hearing ties of Aguilar to the Cowboys. I've had my head down because I've been trying to search Twitter here. I see nothing.
I've heard Randall Cobb linked to the Cowboys because they're trying to replace Cowboys.
Right. Yeah. I have seen
that makes more sense.
I mean, I'm scrolling all the way through, and I haven't seen the Cowboys mentioned in a single tweet by anybody.
I think that's someone trying to start.
That could be, that could just be somebody just putting it out there to throw it up against the wall. But nah, I don't see that happening. A lot of people who don't think he's worth the money. Not just me, but whatever.
He circled the wagon again.
Just saying.
He goes.
Not circling it. Not circling it. It's there.
He said it's parked.
It's still still going forward. That didn't start going around the circle yet.
Oh my god.
But
oh my god.
But yeah, I just want to throw. That's a lot of money. It seems like for Cameron Wake.
It is. It's not
such a high. That's a
high
high risk.
That's high.
High risk contract.
But I mean,
anybody else that you guys are looking out there for any need, just open ended. Any need, any specific free agent that's still sitting out there that we haven't discussed. That
I
you
have to
feel
go
like
through their names again.
Could be an opportunity. Yeah, it's tough because a lot of guys are committed to this point now.
Yeah.
That second wave
and the non-official 48-hour window. It feels like now when it actually starts,
it's like okay,
nobody's
what
left.
else left?
Nobody, I mean, if KJ Wright is still out there, that intrigues me. Anybody the linebacker position that's a worth of value. If it's a KJ Wright, that intrigues me. Give you a name. I'm not sure if he is a free agent. I don't think they picked up his option yet. But along with Vinny Curry, would you think about possibly bringing in the Clay Matthews as far as just a situational pass rusher, like almost like a Chris Long situation?
Sure.
Yeah, with Clay Matthews. He's at a point of his career. He only fills a certain niche.
Right.
And I don't know, depending on how Schwartz views him, I don't know necessarily that he'd be worth bringing in to fill that type of role. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, he's a pass rusher and everything, but he's not someone you can rely on in coverage anymore. He's not good in space. He's a downhill linebacker. And, he has some experience on the outside, but he plays mostly on the outside. He has some experience inside. He plays mostly outside, but like
he could be like a Chris Long type of guy though.
He could be that comes in
to come in and situational maximize him in the right spots and kind of rejuvenates him to where he becomes a playmaker.
I wouldn't.
That's been
be
Chris
shocked.
Long's niche.
Yeah. I wouldn't be surprised if you bring someone like Clay Matthews. I'm trying to see how he would fit in the defense.
Yeah,
but I mean, we shall see. I wouldn't hate it. I wouldn't hate it. And I'm sure he would be rather cheap. But I say that now, and then watch he gets 2 years, like 15 mil guaranteed or something.
It does look like he is a free agent. And if he has had discussions with the Packers about returning, if he does, it would be a 1-year deal. So it would probably be a low risk, high reward if indeed they do have a separation from Green Bay.
Yeah.
Right.
I take a flyer.
And Green Bay, I mean, they signed Preston Smith today. They signed Adrian Amos today.
Yeah, I mean, this article is 2 days old, so
they went all in on defense.
Yeah, they did. Yes, they did. Somebody in the YouTube chat said Josh Bynes, a linebacker out of Arizona.
Oh, Josh Bynes, yeah.
Out of Arizona. He is a free agent. Was undrafted in 2011. Last stop looks like with the Cardinals. I mean, somebody like that, I would have loved to have signed maybe a possible Deion Buchanan. Former first-round pick as well.
Yeah.
That safety linebacker hybrid. Oh, see, that prime example, Mark Barron.
Mm-hmm.
Mark Barron's another name that gets tossed around.
He was released by the Rams. That would be somebody to look for, that third-type safety linebacker hybrid position. Going more now to what these defenses do, you got to stay more nickel and dime on the field from the start.
Mm-hmm.
That he would fit that perfectly. Him, Malcolm, and Rodney. Kind of just let them play off him. Barron doesn't have really good ball skills, but as far as just coverage-wise on tight ends and things of that nature, that could be a possible fit as well. I'm not sure what money he's looking at, what tier he's in as far as value, and I'm not really sure where we're at with the cap now after the moves we made.
Yeah, I guess I didn't even look. We were talking about it last week. The NFL cap is the way that the finances work in the NFL is crazy. Guaranteed money, dead cap space. You move a guy, but you still take a dead cap hit for moving a guy in a trade.
Stupid.
Which I kind of understand some of it. Like you cut a guy, you take a dead cap hit, yada yada yada. If you move a contract and a team is absorbing the contract, I don't understand how you still take a dead cap hit.
Yeah, and most businesses, when you have a contract, you move an asset, and it becomes under. Not so much when you keep them on that same original term of the contract. I can understand the cap hit, but like in the AB situation, why is Pittsburgh still taking a $20 million hit?
Yeah,
when not only did you lost the asset in the player, but then the player re-upped or redid his contract with his new home. So that original contract that he was under when you traded him is no longer, it's null and void. Why, out of the league that makes the most money, revenue, we all can state that, almost close to $1 billion of revenue every season, has the most antiquated, dinosaurish cap structure and rules out of all the major four sports.
Agreed.
So
two things I wanted to get to, because then we're going to get into No Huddle shortly. One,
at that time, damn.
Yeah, this
Holy crap.
show's been flying by.
Holy crap.
One thing I wanted to get to that we have not touched on at all, Nick Foles to Jacksonville, guys.
We haven't talked about that.
We have not talked about Nick Foles to Jacksonville whatsoever.
That third-round compensatory pick. Yes. At least we still end up getting a third from him anyway.
We will, yeah, because he was what's his name? McLeek was a cut. He wasn't a free agent. But that doesn't factor into the compensatory formula.
No one is going to see that much guaranteed money at any position.
Yeah. You'll appreciate this comment.
Okay.
This tweet. Adam Rank tweeted out, Nick Foles is the biggest signing for the Comm family since they inked Chris Jericho to AEW. And Brodo would appreciate that, too.
Oh. Adam Rank.
He has absolutely no idea what we're talking about.
You just made the list.
Pretty great tweet, though, when I saw that.
That is true. That is true. I would say on paper right now, Chris Jericho greater than Nick Foles.
Oh, for sure.
Until he does something for the Khan family.
I think here's what I'm going to say. We're gonna tie this up in a bow tie with Nick Foles.
Okay.
Nick Foles will always be a Philadelphia Eagle. He has played his best football here. He was at the helm when we finally reached the pinnacle of the mountain and got our championship. Guy's a class act, was an amazing teammate, amazing part of the community. For the money that he's getting, God bless him. Well, I think it was, 4 years, $88 million?
51 million.
51 million, or just under 51 million guaranteed.
Escalation's up to 102.
Listen. Yeah, and he has incentives in there that can get him up to 102. This is what I'm going to say. No matter what he does here on out, he will always be a legend in this city. But damn, he managed to pull possibly the biggest short stretch and biggest payday after a short stretch in the history of professional sports. I mean,
Yeah.
we talked. I don't know how you felt. I've listened to your show, but I don't know if I've heard you guys a lot with your Foles conversations. So, me and Chucks and Ryan, we've talked about it. To me, we got the best 10 quarters of Nick Foles.
Yeah.
Everybody, so it became the sexy popular thing that all the success this year we're going to give to Nick Foles. But Nick Foles did not play very well overall this season. He had moments, and what he did have
One
was
good game.
that, as our boy Skip Bayless says, that clutch gene, it kicked in for him when we needed a play to be made. And he's tough as hell.
Yeah.
But that being said, he did not play like a $22 million quarterback this year for the next 4 years beyond.
Yeah.
But what I am happy about is he got his title here. He was able to go out of Philadelphia on a much higher note than the first time he did.
Yes.
He was able to have that point in his career after how far down emotionally and really performance-wise he ended up being when he left here. I'm happy that he was able to get that one big payday.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, for everything that he did do, he never really got the big payday.
Mm.
This was his first time, and you know, I couldn't give a shit what happens in Jacksonville at this point. He's going to make a whole lot of money.
And
so, in my opinion, good for Nick. I hope he does, and I wish him a lot of success.
you can't forget the money he's going to get from his Lululemon sponsorship.
Oh, my God.
He really got a Lululemon sponsorship?
You didn't see the tweet about that?
Yeah, I saw something like
He put the
his
tweet
50
out.
million was like 5 pairs of
He's like,
Lululemon
guys, I
things.
got a big announcement. And he put it out in the sponsorship, and he's like, don't worry. It's not regarding the other announcement. That one's going to be coming in a little bit. I laughed at that. That was pretty good. But no, did you guys see the video of him at the Arizona game, the basketball game?
No.
He was at an Arizona game, and a fan was wearing the Nick Foles Eagles Super Bowl jersey and trying to get his attention.
I thought that was last year. I'm pretty sure that was a video. I think that's a year old.
Is
I know
it?
exactly
Oh.
because it resurfaced.
Somebody tweeted it as if it was like
Because somebody resurfaced it because they're like, oh, don't forget how much of a class act he is, even in the off-season type thing. But
well,
no,
that's
it's
the
great.
first.
No
That's
matter
the
when
first that I had seen it.
I got you.
So he went out of his way to get out of his seat, go over to the fan, gave the fan a hug, signed his jersey, took a picture with him, and talked to him.
See, like, I think Nick Foles knows
Great guy.
This is as good as it gets.
Yeah.
Like, when I look at Nick Foles' career, and you spoke about the way he left the first time. Let's be honest. When he left the field in Houston with the broken collarbone, if I'm not mistaken, it was 6-2, and he never saw the field again.
Yeah.
He never saw the field again.
Fletcher's flipping out on Twitter about something.
Fletcher Cox?
Uh-huh.
Oh,
Who tweets that?
All right, I'm going to pull
Who
it up.
tweets
I'll
that?
Peter, finish your point. I'm going to pull it up.
I'm about to. What's
All right.
going on?
So, real quick. So, for Nick Foles, I give you it's one of these books I don't read that much, but I know one of them starts off with it was the best of times, it was the worst of times.
I think he just woke up.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It was the worst of times.
Yeah.
So that's when I look at Nick Foles' career. Like you said, we got 10 quarters. This past season, we got one good game and some good drives.
Agreed.
Yes.
That's exactly what we said.
Some good drives. So that's what you see. I mean, for Jackson, I'm never going to knock a man for getting paid. Do your thing. Go ahead. But for all these fans who sit here and think that we're missing out on something big, I don't see that. I don't think Nick Foles has never done it in a 16-game season. I understand you could say Carson as well, but even when Nick Foles went 27-2, people forget. He came in, looked like shit against the Giants, got a concussion, missed a week, came back, 7 touchdowns. And then the rest is history. But never could take away from what he did here. I mean, I was in Broad, walked almost 20,000 steps that day. Legs was hurting for the next 3 days because he brought a Super Bowl to this town. You know, the fan base, we're the bride, he's the groom. He carried us over the threshold. He jumped over the broom with him, whatever you want to say. So hats off to you, Nick. It's not the same Jacksonville team from 2 years ago. They've lost pieces as well. Malik Jackson, guess what? He's here now. He's not there. They did make some improvements on offensive lines, but they don't have anywhere. They may have a better running back than we have. No tight end.
I heard
no
they're
wide
cutting
receivers.
ties. I heard
At
they're
all.
cutting ties with Leonard Fournette.
No way.
I keep hearing that now. I know it changed a few weeks ago. They're saying they're committed to him, but I keep hearing other news that.
I got to stop. You guys go.
I'm like, what the
I
heck?
sent him something.
Oh, okay. I keep hearing that they they're out on Leonard Fournette. So, I mean,
Like out as in they're trying to trade him out, or are
they might cut him.
Cut him?
What?
I heard it on a podcast, and I listen to legit podcasts.
No, I understand.
Two different podcasts. I've heard, and I don't know I don't know if
Chucks gets so defensive on everything. He's like, I listen to legit
No,
podcasts, guys.
I'm not trying to.
If they
I'm
had
not
blue
trying to
checks
make it
on,
up.
if they had blue checks on podcasts, it would be blue check. Don't you doubt that I'm talking real shit.
I'm not fake news.
I'm saying what I've heard. I'm saying I heard that they're not. They're almost out on Fournette again, which is something that's resurfaced because about the thing he came.
I'm sorry to cut you off. So in that situation, we just seen Odell get 6 months ago became the highest paid wide receiver.
Yeah.
The team turned it back in trade. So would you be opposed to say? I mean, I hate to say this. We've been talking about him all day. A Nelson for Fournette trade straight up.
I wouldn't.
I don't touch him, Pete.
I don't
think
touch
that
Fournette.
bad.
One, because out of everything now I've heard in terms of Leonard Fournette, not good in the locker room. He's not a hard worker. He's lazy,
right?
And he's not even that dynamic of a running back to begin with. I just got done talking about like a dual threat. He really doesn't offer anything as a receiver, and he's always hurt.
Right.
I wouldn't trade Nelly for him. No.
So would you bring him in if they cut him? In this locker room,
take a look at him.
In this locker room, with how this chemistry is, and then all of us, you got Ginger Jesus.
Yeah.
Yeah, you do.
You got Ginger Jesus, number 11, and you got DeSean now.
Yeah.
You put it in front of a young. It's hard.
Yeah.
Far be it from me. When I go to Jacksonville, for one, it's North Florida.
Yeah.
It
ain't down there.
Yeah, it's North Florida. So I got all this talent in the world, and I'm looking at fucking Blake Bortles. Forgive me if I can't get myself.
Oh, trust me. Those Jacksonville Jaguars players feel the same way about they. Trust me. So.
Well, you know what it is, though, in my opinion? The reason why I say I don't touch him, number one, he's missed 11 games through 2 seasons.
Yep.
That's a lot of games.
Out of 32, yeah.
And I look at it as apparently, and I'm not 100% on this, but he has the reputation of not being that good in cold weather. So I'm looking at here like, okay, we're bringing him here. Well, that's October 20th until the end of the season.
Yeah.
And if you get into the playoffs, it's even worse.
Yeah.
And listen, if they cut him and we brought him in, is he an improvement from what we have? Absolutely. Yeah. So that's the only reason why I would say, sure, bring him in, because we don't have any running backs right now. We don't.
Right.
So in any other situation, if it's trade or if our running backs were a little bit better, I don't touch him, Pete. Yeah. I don't. I think he's a bad egg.
That's a big reason why Jacksonville is not in on him anymore.
Yeah.
And I'm someone. Trust me, I'm someone who when they picked him, I was like, he's gonna be good. But over the last 2 years, and I don't jump off the bandwagon of young prospects who are good. I don't jump off quickly. Like I'm very, very I'm one of the people that when it comes to Nelson Aguilar, I never jumped off. I was like, I still think there's hope, and he panned out. So I'm not quick to jump off and give up hope on people. But everything that I've heard from sources close to Jacksonville is that things have gotten so bad. That's why they took away all his guarantees.
So his stablemate, who is a free agent, he could be an option as well, and that's T.J. Yeldon.
I'm not even big on T.J. Yeldon either.
I mean, I'm just saying as far as for what it seems, because we have no running backs, and what this market is, maybe you can get him for dirt cheap.
I would take a look. Yeah. I mean, it wouldn't hurt to take a look. Bringing him as on a 1 year deal with like no guarantees. See how he competes in camp, and then because to be honest, I don't think he's that much better. He might be better. I don't think he's that much far of improvement, if any, from maybe like a Corey Clement. Okay. I don't think it's that big of a difference, to be honest.
I'll ask you guys
my colleague who is a Giants fan.
Oh, are they not coming to work tomorrow?
He tweeted Giants traded Odell, or he on Facebook put Giants traded Odell. I'm gonna call his name out, Matt Igus.
Oh, name drop.
Putting Matt's name out there. He said, "I'm about to go on short-term disability."
FMLA.
This is some BS. He says the compensation is not enough.
It's not.
And he's getting absolutely destroyed on his Facebook right now.
It's not. You can't at 17 replace that.
I have no words.
Remember back
and you know that takes work. I'm just all his comments here.
remember?
I told him today. I told him today that Odell was going to get traded by the end of the day.
You were such a
I
mean
totally
person.
was just saying it to mess with him, though.
Oh, were you?
And it actually happened. I am going to have such a great day at work tomorrow. You have no idea.
Well, isn't it hilarious? Remember back in like November, guys, when the entire NFC East was just horrendous, and like the Giants won back-to-back games, and on Twitter, Giants, they're coming. They're coming. Yeah, they're coming all right.
They're coming to the basement.
Another one of my buddies put, I'm no longer a Giants fan. I'll just enjoy watching football and collect jerseys.
Yo, and they're talking about this is a storied franchise.
Listen, donate all the jerseys to A2D. We'll burn them on the air. Listen,
I love it. Sorry, as someone who had to deal with a bunch of Giants fans when I lived up in North Jersey, I am in basking.
You know what's
in this.
I got one here,
now.
too. This is one of my buddies who lives up in New York. It's all just a bad dream. I'm going to wake up tomorrow morning. Odell Beckham Jr. will still be the New York Giants, and I'll be able to laugh about it tomorrow. F.
You know what's hilarious, though, guys? This is Odell Beckham. While he was with the Giants, they would always say, oh, I can't stand Odell. He's the worst. He's the worst.
And now,
so now that he's gone, he's the favorite. He's the golden child now, right?
Mood. Dude just drinking. Fuck.
Like, and the thing, it's a crazy thing because when I think about Odell, he never, on our old platform, I used to call him Hodell because this is when he was coming about the bubble bath. So I used to get on him more for that stuff. I never really thought that on the sidelines and all those antics because I never seen him. He was arguing with himself. He would never go argue with Eli.
There's no that's part of my what I was trying to say earlier is just like you ask any of his teammates, none of them are saying he's a bad teammate.
Right.
Oh.
So he's just
passionate.
He's overly emotional. He doesn't know how to control it.
He's a millennial athlete.
Yeah, and all this stuff is extra, and and the boat incident. I get it. He's young, immature. He doesn't know how to control his emotions.
But most of them don't.
He ain't. He's not a. I don't think he's a bad egg.
Right.
No.
Get rid of Collins, trade Odell. Did James Dolan buy the Giants?
Well, here's something the Giants.
And don't say sell the team because he's going to ban you.
Oh yeah, I saw that. Man, what an idiot he is.
My friend. Sorry.
No, go ahead.
My friend who's a Steelers fan, because I just posted a status laughing at all the Giants fans. My friend who's a Steelers fan goes, meanwhile, I am now afraid.
I am now afraid. This is what Giants fans until September, maybe for the rest of their lives, because who knows? I mean, they're going to have an awful season this year, it looks like. They have to live with the fact that their own team, their flesh and blood, moved on from Odell before they moved on from Eli Manning. Just let that sit in.
Wow.
Let that sit in. Like that's not storytelling. That is fact. That is fact. They moved on from Odell before they moved on from Eli.
That's wow. Pat Shermer couldn't have been on board with this.
Now
I think he's a spy for
Now-
us.
now
I think he's a mole for
a
us.
Giants fan.
Oh, here we go.
And what we hear about Philadelphia fans is it bad I want Odell Beckham Jr. to have career-ending knee surgery?
Wow.
That's a Philly fan in
Listen.
disguise right there.
Listen, I don't recall him asking for a trade.
No.
Yes.
I don't recall him asking for a trade. He got moved because of the organization.
He just said it's bittersweet, bittersweet too. He could be celebrating right now. Say, hey Cleveland, what's up? All this stuff. He's
knows.
like credting in New York right now.
Now, the nightlife, the girls. I mean, I can't say the girls. I seen Ohio State's campus. But the nightlife, the marketability now.
Yeah.
It's not the New York market's not the same. But like you said, Odell throughout this whole season, even when he was holding out, he never came out and did what AB did.
No.
He got his money.
It's different.
And even now, this offseason, he's been quiet. He's probably been working.
Yeah.
And still gets traded. I really would have to know what the Tish and the Mars are like. What was the final straw?
I don't
It's
know.
a panic move. They don't know what to do.
They don't know. That's what
I
I'm
know.
saying. My point of like, what's going on? What's their direction?
You completely alienate the fan base because, like you said, I think people would have been okay if you move on from Eli. I think initially they've been upset, but you have the future to look forward to. You don't have a future now.
Yeah.
They had such a perfect game plan, at least on paper, where they could have had Saquon Barkley.
Look,
I saw that.
Yeah,
Look at this.
They could have had Saquon, Ingram, Beckham, and Haskins. I know it's freaking. You know what I mean, though.
Yeah.
Guys,
You for the next 10 years, Haskins, Ingram, Beckham, Saquon.
what I need for the fam to do is just go on Twitter. Go on your Facebook news feed. That is like Twitter alone right now. And just scroll through and find everything that mentions the Giants.
Yeah.
It is priceless right now.
My niece, who's a diehard Steelers fan, said, I'm okay that we traded AB now that I saw what New York just did.
Oh, my God. It's brutal.
I gotta play you guys a video in a few minutes.
I'm literally, even when TA said, he's like, Odell just got traded to Cleveland. Like, get the fuck out of here.
Best part was 8 hours ago we had a tweet or a comment from the person who asked for the knee injury and put, are the Giants going to sign anyone? Well, clearly they're not.
You know what I did, though, Crumb?
They're going to get rid of motherfuckers. They ain't signing nobody.
Crumb, you know what I did, though? I did it for you guys a couple seconds ago. I found a real life conversation between Saquon and Odell Beckham. You want me to play it for you?
Yeah, please.
I see that.
You don't belong in this. I'm gonna get you out. I'm gonna get you out of there. I'm gonna do everything it takes to make sure you get out of here.
The crazy part is when he walks up, he looks.
He's like, wait a minute.
I saw the same thing.
Yeah,
I saw the same thing
yesterday,
with
right?
DeSean
DeSean
Jackson.
Yeah.
DeSean
I've been
McCoy.
trying to use that video on A2D social media for almost like 5 years.
This
and
is the
somebody
time.
somebody already beat me to it.
Oh.
Every time I'm like, damn it, give me 5 minutes so I can post it. I might do it anyway. Screw it.
Yeah, and it's just repurpose it.
So good.
I'm gonna get you out.
I mean, I just
You don't belong in there.
everything in my power.
I'm gonna get you out.
You out of here.
The cat just looking at me like,
He's like, what?
I don't even like. He don't even know what it is. Like I feel like the cat is like Saquon right now. Like Saquon doesn't
Doesn't
even
know
know
it.
like how bad it is.
He's like, can I go back to college?
Like-
can I go
like-
back to Penn State?
Saquon's probably in the gym working out his quads and
If
has
I-
no clue what is going on.
If I'm Saquon, I'm going in there saying, look, y'all need to pay me more for what I'm about to go through. What this body's about to go through, I got a daughter now. Listen, man, I need. Look, I understand you guaranteed all my money from my rookie deal, but I'm gonna need a little bit more than that.
Right now, he's gonna.
Foolish Demon said, you guys have a good night. He said, I may not make it from the laughs. We're struggling, brother. I hear you.
Oh,
And again, I'll say it
man.
again. We didn't even get to Le'Veon news yet.
I know,
Like,
this
that's a
is crazy.
scary
Right.
thing.
Oh my God.
Like, this
Watch.
is. We didn't even expect this.
I feel-
right before we go off air, watch the news is gonna.
Oh, no,
break.
it's going to be 5
Remember-
seconds as soon as I press the button.
See, Brodo, you will appreciate this. Chuck, you may too. So back in the day, you heard of the Four Horsemen before.
Yeah.
Okay, so then the next stable was Evolution. Is Triple H, Ric Flair, Randy Orton, Batista. When Batista finally went over, and Orton went over. I'm sorry, Orton finally went over, beat Chris Benoit. God rest his soul. You know he's crazy as hell.
Vacant.
He was on Batista's shoulders, and they all thumbs up, thumbs up, thumbs up. And all of a sudden they turn thumbs down. I feel that's what the Giants did. No doubt. They pay him like, hey, we're gonna pay you your money. We're gonna pay you your money.
Yeah.
Shipping your ass to Cleveland.
I mean, I listen, guys. I don't know.
But he made out.
Oh, he
Going
made
to
out.
he made out.
He
I don't know
escaped.
if I told you guys, but my close personal friend, Antonio Bryant,
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah. This.
tweeted out earlier,
This guy.
congrats to Le'Veon Bell on getting that money. Gonna let him tell you the team. That's my close personal friend, Antonio Bryant. He's already telling us that the team is already decided. So we were just waiting for the news to come out.
Life's a gamble,
Maybe I
drops
should DM him and be
midnight.
like, hey, personal friend, where's he going? Can I get the skinny on this?
I
Can I
don't know.
break the story?
I don't know.
He's waiting for
I
that
don't
music video. Right, Pete?
know. I heard on
True
Twitter.
story. I said to Chucks, I'm like, who the fuck is this? Antonio Bryant started following me today on Twitter.
Oh, that's why you're saying. I see. I didn't get the other side.
That's
of the
the
story.
joke of it. Yeah.
Okay.
So it's like when I tweeted John Cena and then he started following me.
Okay.
And then when my one friend, she loves him, mentions him, I'm like, I could always talk to my close personal friend John Cena because we're friends. You know, we follow each other on Twitter. Antonio Bryant's one of my close personal friends now.
Okay, hold on. I need to read because this is just okay. One of my friends who is a Giants fan who is
I'm surprised they
trying to
even, like,
come copes.
can
He's
talk.
trying to convince himself. So he goes, New
Oh,
York is
Lord.
so exhausting, but much like Porzingis, there's got to be a reason for Odell to be completely honest. I'm okay with the trade. Look into the details, my New York fans. You'll be okay, too. One of his friends goes, I honestly think it was a win for both squads. And then Andre, my friend, says, cap space, picks, peppers. He ain't Beckham, but I'm okay with that. And then Brad says, I look at it like this. You'll have no QB or much of a team around him. By the time y'all get that, he'll most likely be out of his prime. A first, third, and Peppers is a good haul to rebuild the team. Plus, I'm glad he's out of the division.
That's a dumb conversation.
That's such
But we have found our first Giants fan that tried to make sense of it.
Try.
Thanks for trying.
That's one of the levels of grief, though.
Denial.
Denial. Like that's the
He's
one.
like,
That's,
"No, I'm good
that's the
with it,
one
man.
level. That's the first
I'm
level
good
of
with
grief.
I can't wait till the anger starts kicking in.
Like I'm good. I'm good. No, don't touch me. I'm good. I'm
okay with it. I'm okay with it.
Listen,
I'm
we got a
alright- I'm
first,
good.
third. We got peppers. All we need now is the salt. We gonna make a sandwich in this
He
bitch.
ain't even that good anyway. He ain't even that good anyway.
No, I'm tired of the blonde hair. I'm tired. He's doing a Michael Jackson. No. As long as we still got Eli, we trust.
Pretty soon he's going to be walking out of the house. I'll be back. I'll be back.
I'll be back. It's fine. It's fine. Just mind your business. Just mind
Yo,
your
Need
I
some
just-
space.
That's the biggest thing is like, how do you do this to your fan base?
Yeah.
Hey, at least he revealed or at least admitted that they're rebuilding because Giants fans haven't been doing that the last 2
Rebuilding
years.
You ever
Exactly.
seen those YouTube you ever seen the YouTube videos where the two dudes in Asia be making everything?
Yeah.
They be making the concrete out of like clay. That's the Giants right now.
In the middle of the jungle.
In the middle of the fucking jungle, building a hot tub. The
most swimming pool.
Like if people build it, you gonna come. Ain't nobody coming to that shit.
They're tracking water with freaking bamboo.
Yeah. Like nobody. No. Hey, that's not ingenious, man. People out here doing real shit.
Oh, yeah.
Like it's real NFL teams out here getting better. Y'all over here, y'all playing in the little kiddie pool. I don't know what y'all doing over there.
They went prehistoric.
Like, you know what? Really? This David Gettleman and Tisha Martin said, you know what? Really gonna get the lead? We're gonna turn back the hands of time.
We're bringing back the leather helmets.
We're gonna build.
Eli, get the leather helmets.
They
gonna build with a
gonna
running
sign
back.
a fullback tomorrow. Watch.
We're gonna build with a running game, with a running back. Remember
They
those
gonna go
days?
jumbo set.
Oh.
Oh my goodness,
I
man!
can't.
I just
I can't. It's a glorious day to be a Philadelphia.
and this is so hilarious. I do want to speak about San Francisco did get better. They probably overpaid for D4, but I mean that's better, especially we had the number 2 pick. You're probably gonna get Nick Bosa.
Yeah.
Defensive line is gonna be good. I mean, I would have liked Odell. I think Odell would have fit in better with a Kyle Shanahan offense. But man, Baker, man, whew, take your pick, man. I mean, fantasy football next year is going to have a lot of Cleveland Browns on it.
Foolish Demon said he can be more grounded in Cleveland. There's nothing to do there.
He has no choice.
My friend and my fiance's cousin who's in my fantasy league, he texted me immediately after. It was like soon after we started the show, and he goes, "So I get to keep Baker for $2 next year, right?" Because he drafted him in our auction league, and he was like, wanted to make
Auction
sure. I'm
keeper
like,
is the best.
Yes,
Boy, I'll tell you what.
yes,
It's tough, but it's the best.
that's what I keep telling Chrome.
Yeah, it's the best, man.
I do it for baseball.
I finally won my league this year.
I do it for
Nice.
baseball. I don't do it for football.
Yeah,
Really, I can't do baseball drafts, man. I got a friend, DFS.
Oh,
Baseball,
I do
makes
like 5 leagues.
Makes money every day.
Yeah,
DFS.
I'm better. Funny though, baseball is my sport, but I'm better at fantasy football. And Chuck knows I'm usually.
Oh, yeah,
pretty,
yeah, yeah. You're
I'm
really
really
good.
good at fantasy football.
Really?
Yeah.
But I don't know why, but I am. But I love baseball more, and I'm not even anywhere near as good at fantasy baseball as I am at football.
Listen, you're a Cardinals fan. There's really nothing to do out there anyway.
I'm used
so you
to
gotta
winning.
get something.
Jeez.
Bruh, I'm like an 11. My
God.
team's like an 11-time World Series champion. We've won since the Phillies won,
all right, I'm out.
and we won 2 years before the Phillies won.
That was courtesy of Ryan Achilles.
No,
Ryan Achilles exploding.
No, that was courtesy of you guys letting the Braves, eliminating the Braves
All right.
for us and getting us in,
I'ma tell
and then
you.
getting your asses handed
I
back
have a
to
way
you.
bring 'em back.
Who
Don't you
was
worry.
in Game 5? Game 5
When
against
Chris Carpenter shut your whole fucking team down?
No, it was one triple and a sacrifice fly. Who hit the triple?
Who hit the triple for the Cardinals?
Yeah, who hit the triple?
Oh, I don't follow baseball, so
I know. I'm just saying.
Oh, okay.
It's a Cardinal. Who hit the triple?
I know Skip Schumacher was involved in some point. He might have been the one who scored the run. I don't remember who hit the triple.
He was a Latin man that hit the triple. Leadoff hitter.
I'm trying to remember. I'm going back to like Juan Encarnacion now in 2006.
No, this is
2011.
This is 8 years ago.
Rafael Furcal.
Okay, there you go.
I found something else for you guys. So this
Don't you try to ground us back, Ryan.
I have to. I have to with this.
Don't you bring this back on the rails.
This is titled Mike Tomlin, 1CC's Odo Beckham Jr., Earl Thomas, all acquired by the Browns in less than 24 hours. This is what he had to say.
I'm fighting for my life.
Oh, my God.
It sounds like him.
Dude, the internet wins every time. It really does.
You know how his
It is undefeated. His eyes gonna be like,
I was going to say, it's going to be up in his hairline now.
bro.
Real talk, though, we talked about this. To me, this was Mike Tomlin's. This is where he needs to prove how good of a head coach he is.
You mean how good he's not?
And and you know I'm on that board.
I'm with you. You know
I don't
that,
know
yeah.
what is he? He's defensive, offensive. What is he?
I think he won on the coattails
he's
of
a
Bill
choker.
Cowher.
He's a choker. He doesn't.
He just looks. He looks like he's into it.
He habitually the teams that they have that they have had, the weapons they've had on offense. His teams have habitually played up and down to every team they play. When Cleveland was the shit Browns, they were playing games that were 13-9, and then they go against New England and it's 36-34.
I saw.
Come on, man.
I saw a tweet that got me dying. It was a picture. It was a picture of the three Steelers, and it was like, "Yo, guys, can you imagine that Steelers team with Ben Roethlisberger, Antonio Brown, and Le'Veon Bell? How good they would be."
It's funny because it's true.
I wonder. I mean, it's just it's laughable that what they've done, what the Giants have done. But see, the Giants really didn't have. They weren't the cream of the crop in the NFC East. The Steelers were in the AFC North. They were expected to be not only contenders for the division, Super Bowl contenders. Mm-hmm. So in a matter of 6 months, you've gone from like, dude, you're in the basement with Cincinnati. Y'all and that bitch playing musical chairs down there while the Ravens is still on the first floor, and now the Browns is sitting in the penthouse. And it's like, dude, like.
Think about that. The Browns are now sitting in the penthouse.
What?
Yeah.
I
That's
mean,
crazy.
Just talent. I mean, we said it.
Pursuit of happiness in
Talent
real life.
and cap space. And then now they actually, John Dorsey, him and that big ass, I don't know how many pieces of gum he got in his mouth, be chewing the shit all out. Actually did something. I mean, listen, I think they underpaid for Odell. To get him.
Oh my God! They stole. They absolutely stole.
That
Odell.
was that's
a freaking
it
steal.
for an elite talent.
No, I mean at least two.
I know the contract is high, so you probably do factor that in. You're going to be paying him a lot of money.
Right.
But that being said, still.
But that's what I'm saying. Most of their roster, we talked about it with the draft. Most of their roster, especially on the defensive side of the ball, is all players that they've drafted, all in rookie deals.
And that's the point. Yep. That's what you do when, especially not even just the defense. When we talk about it all the time with Carson.
Yeah.
When your quarterback is on a rookie deal, that's when you can go and make these kinds of big splashes in free agency.
Because you can spend
capitalize on that time while you have it. Because once that window's done, it's going to get a lot more strategical of trying to figure out how to fill these holes.
Yeah.
And I mean, 1 year in, and look what Cleveland's been able to put around him. Look what the Rams were able to put around Jared Goff. Look what the Eagles were able to do putting around Carson Wentz.
That's right.
They're showing, like we said, to kind of round it out from when we opened the show, you have a quarterback that you believe in that is going to be that elite talent, you will go out and get those weapons. Yeah. You'll get those toys for him to play with and for him to grow very quickly with. And man, Baker's going to have a hell of a season next year.
Oh yeah,
damn.
You know how he wears his heart on his sleeve too. He's into it, and
oh man, him throwing to OBJ and Juice, like those three are gonna have such a good time. They're gonna be balling and they're gonna be celebrating. They're just gonna have fun next year. Yeah, they're gonna be so much fun to watch.
I will say those Browns. Oh God, what is that? Another
Oh,
one?
that's the Onion.
I know. Look at this. Just read it, though. Read it. It's hilarious.
It says Giants consider drafting quarterback to mentor Eli Manning.
To mentor him.
I saw that. Was that Diana Rossini?
She might have retweeted
She
it.
might have retweeted it.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
Oh, that's good.
I mean, man, I'm laughed out. I don't know if this is a huddle or what it
I
was.
gotta say this: the Cleveland Browns championship shirts are gonna be the ugliest fucking things ever, though.
I love brown and
They're gonna
orange
be-
together though. Like it looks good with a pair of Timberlands.
I mean, their new jerseys are better, but historically, to me, they've had possibly the worst jerseys in the history of football. They're ugly as hell. I like the new ones are okay.
The ones are fine. I think when they're white, the white ones are fine. I think.
I agree
white
with
with the
that.
The
brown.
white ones are with the brown.
With
brown,
I agree.
orange, yeah.
and the orange with the brown.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think they're fine.
So did the Cleveland Cavaliers literally break the curse for the whole city of Cleveland?
Maybe.
Possibly.
Because I mean,
The
wow.
power of LeBron. Wow.
The power of LeBron leaving.
LeBron leaves, and then he starts a new curse in L.A. I like it. I did.
I love it. I love it.
How about that, Ralphie D? How about that?
You crumb. Trying to talk running backs with me. Get out of here.
All right, no huddle. Finally, we're finally at no huddle.
I don't even know what to bring for no huddle.
I'm gonna start it off.
Okay.
Of all the shit that we talked on the Steelers, I'm gonna give them a pat on the back. They re-upped Ryan Shazier again
Oh, that was.
God.
to make sure that they can continue
I
to
wanted
he
to
can
cry,
continue
yeah.
to be taken care of.
Okay.
Taking all the nonsensical football decisions they made, a real life decision for somebody, that's awesome. So I will give the organization a massive pat on the back for that, re-upping him today, or they will be, so that he can continue to progress in his very long battle with his kind of partial paralysis or whatever, major partial paralysis,
Yep.
And his rehabilitation. So shout out to them.
So, I mean, I got to be some funny. So that's Kevin Colbert really taking care of one of his 52 kids.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, that's what make sure. So fun. So make sure. And so this is my first time in No Huddle.
Pop that cherry. You can take a minute and think about it. We'll
Okay,
get to
yeah, come back
Chuck's.
to me.
No,
Chuck's
I don't
usually
even
has a
know.
list of like 19. So.
I'm.
He's still
I have
catching his
nothing. I'm
bearings.
still catching. Ryan, go ahead. Pass it on to you.
Well, I'll just say this, all right? I can go to the Sixers right now and complain that it had to be a close game at the end of the
Against Cleveland again.
and
Speaking
we
of
were
Cleveland.
talking about Zaire Smith sightings because we figured, we'll be up by 30 at the end of the third. We'll
That's
be
what me and
fine.
you were
We'll get a
talking
full
about.
quarter in. I just look at it as, and it's more of a question for you guys, not necessarily a topic, but given as though we are, about 15 games away from the playoffs, we now have the 3 seed. We're looking at how it's kind of shaping up. How is your expectations of the Sixers going into the playoffs change? Because we kind of talked about it right when the signing happened, right before. Are you guys still expecting like an Eastern Conference title or an Eastern Conference championship appearance or bust? What are your expectations right now for the team?
I don't know that I'm as confident with that. I expected more during the buyout time period for them to be able to acquire
with a big,
somebody.
yeah.
Unfortunately, that just didn't work out in their favor. I think the guys they targeted weren't bought out. I think I heard them say, I heard it somewhere. Might have been on Sunday. Somebody had talked about it, and it was the guys that they targeted didn't get bought out, and other guys. I think they were talking about Wesley Matthews.
Yes,
they believe
that
it
was
was
the
on
guy.
agree to disagree on Sunday. It might have been maybe even Tom or Wilson brought up that a guy like that, though, a great fit, but he can go to Indiana and he could start
And get more money.
and get more money, right? So it made
Bad timing.
it just didn't work out in their favor, unfortunately, which I'm disappointed about. So I'm a little concerned with the bench, but as we talked earlier, seeing a guy like a James Ennis start to turn the corner a little bit. I know Mike Scott's still kind of hit and miss a little bit, but seeing him stroke a little bit better is encouraging.
Right.
Having Boban back is huge. They're going to need that because I don't need to see Amir ever again.
No, I don't want to ever see him again.
So it's encouraging. I don't know that they're going to get to the Eastern Conference Finals, though. I think I would now my expectation second round and not get steamrolled like you did last season.
Yeah, I was going to say my expectations right now, and this is like it looks like right now it looks like if everything stays the same, we're either going to play Detroit or Brooklyn in the first round.
Yeah.
I think Brooklyn is they have a lot of overachievers on that team, and Detroit, we don't have an issue with Detroit. Right. I don't care if they have Blake Griffin or not.
My concern, though, is Brooklyn has played us tough this season.
That was the old team.
Worried about
that was the old team. That was before the trade.
Brooklyn they're deep at the guards, and the one thing that we can't defend really well is guards.
Yeah, D'Angelo's going to go for 50 probably.
Yeah, he would. D-Lo, and then they got Dinwiddie.
He's a guy the Lakers moved on from.
Yeah, I know.
They got it right. So.
Yeah, Lonzo. They moved on from him for Lonzo.
If they get the 2 seed, which are 2.5 games back of Toronto, and it's possibility because Toronto's not playing Kawhi back-to-backs, and that works out. They play Detroit, and then they hope that somehow, because Boston plays like shit against everybody else except us. Mm-hmm. If somehow Indiana could beat Boston, then you get Indiana in the second round. Mm-hmm. I mean, I would be hard pressed to say it's not a failure if they don't make it to at least to the Eastern Conference Finals. I
totally understand it. I've adjusted my expectations, seeing how, and it's not even necessarily what I'm seeing on the court now. I'm encouraged more by seeing the bench guys step up, but I really did expect something to be able to happen during that buyout period, and nothing was. And I don't even know it's necessarily their fault.
Right.
But it just didn't work out. So with that, I have to be realistic in my head and say, all right, that didn't fall into place the way I expected it to fall into place. So I don't know that the bench is strong enough, and that was our issue last year. Mm-hmm. You know, we had Ilyasova and we had Bellinelli. Bellinelli couldn't play any fucking defense whatsoever.
They both disappeared in the second round.
You know, Tobias changes it a little bit because he's a true stretch four.
Smooth.
So they're not going to be able to just jumble up in the lane like they were last year and force Embiid to just jack up shots at the three-point line and basically take Ben out as a total thing, because you also have Jimmy Butler now as well.
Yeah.
So they're going to need to capitalize when the starting roster is in there, particularly if you face a team like Boston. Because I am a little bit concerned with how our reserves are going to be. The only one I'm not really, to be honest with you, is TJ, because the guy's just a baller. He's going to get in and play. Yeah. So we need other guys to step up. I'm encouraged with Ennis. I'm hoping Mike Scott finds that consistency. You know, I want him to be like our big shot Bob and really just drop the three-pointers down when you really, really need it. And the clutch, you know, in the playoffs.
Well,
so we'll see.
You would have to think as well, since, you know, every playoffs, the benches shrink.
Right,
the only guys we're really going to see are obviously our 5. And then on the bench, you would see Mike Scott, TJ, Boban, and then Ennis a little bit.
Yeah,
you know,
you won't see Jonathan Simmons.
Nah.
So what about Zaire though, as far as defense? I mean, as far as, because that's what he came in as, drafted. If he's 100% on the defensive side of the floor, he was almost kind of ready to go as a perimeter defender. So in a matchup against Brooklyn, that would help.
Not enough time with him, though, on the roster this year to take that kind of a risk in the playoffs.
Pete, I would agree with you, but this is why, and we talked about
That's trial by fire. I don't like that.
This is why I wish they would have kept Corey Brewer, because we would need Zaire to come in and play a Corey Brewer role, especially because he's a pest, and that's exactly what you need in a playoff series, especially if it's heated back and forth.
Yeah.
We don't have that guy. We have James Ennis is that guy right now.
So, listen, and I think in hindsight, if they would have seen how the buyout market was going to play out, Corey Brewer would have never been off this team.
Well, you know what I think? Well, it came. I don't know if Elton said it, but what I think they did was they weren't sure how the buyouts were going to go. They didn't know if they were going to go full and get like 4 guys or they were going to get 1. So he was right at the end of his 10-day, and instead of screwing him and just guaranteeing the end of his contract for the rest of the year and then cutting him, kind of screwing him, they released him, kind of doing him a favor, and took a chance and hoped he would go under the radar and he wouldn't get picked up. Well, 2 days later, Sacramento picks him up. Yeah. That was the issue. They they mortgaged it a little bit.
Did Andrew Bogut get picked up by anybody?
Warriors.
He did go to the Warriors.
And it's only the end of the year. After this year, he's going overseas again.
Yep.
Yeah. He's not. He's going to be playing overseas.
I mean, we need a big dispel and be, and unless he gets committed to Jonah Bolden, but it seems like as soon as Bolden gets on the court, he starts committing fouls like immediately. Like he walks onto the court committing the foul.
Here's the thing, though, in the role he has now that we have Boban back and Embiid back, I'm okay with Bolden coming in off the bench because he's not going to be in enough to go up to 5 fouls. You know what I mean? He's going to play 10 max minutes, so is he going to run into probably 3 fouls? Because like you said, he's a walking foul.
Yeah.
Yes, but somebody like that where he's so limited as far as minutes, but you're getting the production off the bench, I don't think he would have to worry about the fouls, but clearly Brett is right now because he was playing Amir Johnson 13, 14, 15 minutes, and Bolden saw 1 the other night.
So I don't know if any of these guys were picked up, but this is some of the bigs names that I've heard thrown out there. Spencer Hawes.
Oh, my Jesus.
How?
Spencer Hawes.
What?
If they've been picked up, this was as of a week ago.
Okay.
Spencer Hawes was a name. Kendrick Perkins was a name that was thrown out there.
Is this 2008?
I know. And then Gortat, Aldrich, and Plumlee. Who, am I wrong? Wasn't Plumlee picked up, or am I wrong about that?
Which one?
Which one, Mason or Miles?
Marshall.
Is it Marshall?
Or Mason.
I don't know. Gortat is a name that may interest me.
He put Marshall, but I think he meant Mason.
Mm.
Yeah. I like Gortat a lot, too.
I like Gortat.
Well, here's the problem, though. Now we're past – there's a deadline, I think.
But that tells you what's left now, by the way. That's to give you a gauge of what is left.
But for that to work, the only guys that you can pick up now are guys that have not seen any NBA minutes so far this season.
Really?
So Carmelo, because you can't pick up Carmelo. Right. So these are guys that, like, for example, Corey Brewer, who's at home sitting on the couch. Those are the only type guys you can pick up right now because that deadline for buyouts has already passed. I think that was last week or something. So now for a guy like Gortat, all these guys, we can't get them anymore. That's the issue.
Yeah. So the other kid can Justin Patton give us anything? Any minute?
He's so freaking passive.
Yeah.
He's so passive. I see him running out there, and I understand it's first time back. He only played a game before. But he's running out there. He's running away from the ball. It looks like Simmons in the final minutes of the game.
Yeah.
He can't get far enough away from the ball. I'm sorry.
The Giants can't get far enough away from success.
Yeah. But I'm going second round. I adjusted mine to second round. You said conference finals, Chucks.
I'd say conference finals.
Conference finals,
They're
Ryan.
going to get bounced in 6 games in the second round.
Okay.
So I thought I know Huddle topic. Does Vinny Velo have to go after his start yesterday? Vinny Velasquez, give it up what? Almost.
It's spring training.
We're talking about.
It's tough. I mean, I don't put so much stock into spring training because one of the things you get, it's like when you see guys hitting, you see them, they're working on things that they can't do in a regular game. They're going to work on situational things. They're going to throw, if they're breaking balls, not their strongest pitch, but they're trying to work on that to complement, the rest of their pitching repertoire. They're going to throw more of those, and they're going to leave them up in the zone. Right. Or, their 2-seamer or 4-seamer, whatever it is. Same thing with hitters. Bryce Harper, to me, his first game when he walked twice. Mm-hmm. But watching Bryce from what I had read, and I could kind of tell in the game, he was working during batting practice, hitting the ball the opposite way.
I wonder why.
Right. Well, I mean, they're shifting everybody fuck over. That was ridiculous. But when you watch him take a couple of those cuts, I think his timing's a little bit behind, but I also feel like part of that, too, is he's working on hitting the ball the other way, and this is the time to do it in the spring. Yeah. So I think season starts probably a short leash for him. If not, you got to look at putting him in the bullpen. There's a lot of talent there. Right. Not every guy's made to be a starter. Right. I always go back to the Cardinals because I can compare. Carlos Martinez, his arm doesn't hold up as a starter. Right. He's a great talent. I think he could be excellent in the bullpen. Same thing for us. Talk about a young guy, Alex Reyes. He's been hurt every time he's been a starter. But putting his major league sample size in the bullpen was incredible. Right. And now they're tossing around that idea after his Tommy John of, can this kid be a strong potential future closer? I think Vinny could be that guy.
Haven't they tried that, though? Did they try to put him in the bullpen already?
But he was younger, though. He was younger. I think that.
Was it long relief?
Some guys get knocked around early in their career, though. And having them go up and having them go up and go down and having them be in the bullpen and then a starter and then back to the bullpen, it fucks with young guys. It really does because baseball, especially baseball players, are creatures of habit. Right. So you prepare totally differently as a reliever because you could be playing every day as opposed to when you're a starter. When you're constantly shifting around what your preparation is, particularly as a young guy who's still working on a lot of different things as well, I think it can mess with you. And I'm not making an excuse for him, but I think there's so much talent there. And I personally have always felt like if they say you're going to be in this role in the bullpen. You're going to be the 7th inning guy, 8th inning guy, 9th, whatever. Get a couple of growing pains out of the way. I think that he could harness that in, find those 2 or 3 pitches that you only need in the bullpen.
Yeah.
Really, you only need 2 strong pitches. Focus on sharpening those to be the best they could possibly be. I think he could be a close to dominant 7th or 8th inning guy. I don't think he'll ever be a closer.
Okay.
But I think he could be absolutely like a 3-man back in the bullpen guy.
See, that last part I agree with. The bullpen.
Yeah.
Right.
Starter? No.
That's not.
I don't think he's a starter.
No. I understand that.
Yeah.
I'm sick and tired. Now we're in year 4, really kind of year 5 of this, and I'm sick and tired of him getting a pass, or not getting a pass, but he's getting the benefit of the doubt in so much time. And he's a project. He's this because of the great first start he had all the way back in 2016.
Yeah, it was like his first 8 games or something. He
exactly.
was unbelievable.
We're not in project territory anymore. That was the last 8 years. Okay, we're contenders now. We're World Series contenders. So we need to figure out, hey, can you pitch more than 3 friggin' innings? Because if you can't, we need to move on from you. Because we're not rolling out there this season where we're trying to win something, especially go deep in the playoffs. Right. We're not rolling out with a 3-man rotation. We're not doing that.
I don't disagree with you, and it actually correlates a lot to when the Sixers made all their moves, expectations changed. Markelle Fultz, you could sit there and develop him, but once you make those moves that you turn the corner,
time for development is over with.
The developmental window is a lot more closed, particularly, baseball still has a little bit of that because it's such an expanded roster, but regardless, if he's going to be on the major league roster, he's got to be able to contribute somewhere. So I 100% agree with you. If you can't effectively pitch more than 3 innings or effectively pitch 1, you got to you got to go down. You got to figure it out or you're done.
You know what it reminds me of? And 2 separate pitchers, but years ago. Remember when Ryan Madsen first started out here and he was a starter and he was kind of that project, we're going to figure him out. Once they were ready to win, I'm sorry, Ryan, you're in the bullpen. Yeah, and it actually worked because he was that 6th, 7th, 8th inning guy, and it worked.
Yeah.
It's 2 separate pitchers, 2 separate situations, but it's the same thing of, listen, you can have all the talent in the world, but if you're not good enough when we're trying to win, we're moving on from you.
Yeah.
We're moving on.
No, you're right, because he found his niche, and I actually correlate a lot of that together. He found his niche in the 8th inning. It was J.C. Romero 7th, Ryan Madsen 8th, Brad Lidge. He was the bridge to Lidge to get them there.
Yep.
I think that Velasquez could be that guy in the 7th or 8th inning.
If we all agree Velasquez should go to the bullpen, what does that do for our rotation, though?
Go out and make a move, make a trade. You don't have to sign Keuchel if you don't like the money that he wants.
Right.
There's always guys up available for trade. Go out and make a move.
What I think they're going to do is they're going to try and this is going to infuriate me just saying it, but this is why I don't want it to happen, but I think they're going to do it. I think they're going to try and be patient with their back end of the rotation. It's going to piss me off because they're going to lose games because of it.
Right.
And then around the trade deadline, I think they're going to be in a situation to trade for Madison Bumgarner. Because Madison Bumgarner, number 1, he's going to be a rental. Number 2, the Giants aren't going to be in a situation to win. Right. You know what I mean? So they would give him up because I don't think he's going to re-sign there because they're not close to winning. So I think he's a guy that you can go out and get. There's a million different guys, but he's like the, quote, big name. Somebody like that to me. Because I don't think they're going to get Keuchel. I don't think they're going to get Gio. Like, there's a bunch of guys that you can get now. I think they're going to try and figure out an identity because you also have Eichhoff, Eflin, and Pivetta. Right. So there's 3 other guys. It's not like Velasquez is your number 3.
No, and a great point, too, as to why you can't have the same patience is you already have 3 other young guys at the top of that rotation, too. There's a lot of question marks there. And Vinny is, to your credit, like you said, is probably the biggest one.
Yeah.
At some point, one of them you're going to have to go into the season with a little more certainty if it's not there. He's the one you got to make the decision on now.
Yeah.
The other guys, I give them that little bit more of that leash. The rest of them pitched pretty well, minus I think Eichhoff was hurt a lot last year, right?
Yeah, missed the season.
So, I don't know what they're going to have with him. Hopefully, I think he's a really good pitcher, though. But Vetta, I think, is going to progress again this year.
We need him to improve, and we need the other 2 just not to suck. Like, it's
it's
not that much. We're not saying all 4 of them need to be aces. Nola needs to be Nola. Yeah. Arrieta needs to figure it out in the second half of the season. And then the other guys just have to be good. That's it.
Listen, you just need a guy that can go 4 to 5 innings in the back end of the rotation.
Especially with the run support we have now.
You don't need him to go 6, 7 innings. When you talk the top 3 spots in your rotation, you need at least a quality start out of those guys. You're talking probably at least 6 innings. Top end, you're looking for 7 or 8.
Yeah.
When you get to those back 2 spots, especially with the offense they have, you get 4 or 5 innings out of them and just kind of let the bullpen take the rest of the way. You're good to go.
Yeah.
Right, Chucks?
Yes.
Chucks is our baseball expert, by the way.
I could tell.
What do you got, Chuck?
Did you finally get one, Chucks?
No, I don't have anything.
I'll add one. So remember I told you Aunt Becky still wasn't found?
Yeah.
We still haven't got her.
And Becky.
That's amazing.
Apparently
Becky.
they're waiting for her at the airport. That'll be crazy.
I'll pick her up.
Oh, my God. This is like
I'll
insane.
pick her up.
She's like a fugitive of the
Aunt
law.
Becky on the run.
Yeah, I don't know if you guys saw this story, but
First one to find her.
But this like
Lori
academic like scandal that's going on, the people scamming to get their kids in, paying like anywhere between like a couple like 15, 20,000 all the way up to fucking 6 million.
No. Yeah, I was gonna say she paid $500K.
No, there's a range
to get her
though.
kid in school.
I read a
range?
story that one family paid like 15,000, but the highest that was paid was 6 million.
To get the kids into school.
Yeah.
Right, but it was so crazy and intricate. I can't get into every detail, but like they were like they want this kid to go to school, and like their school would like not have a crew team, so to get them into the athletic, like they couldn't go to the school for their academics, so they'd have to do something as the athletic thing. So they would basically like the people they would pay would make up this fake website with this profile. Somebody told me at one point they billed this one kid at 6'1". They were actually 5'6".
Whoa.
Oh, and they were making up all this fake shit so that they could get the kid into the school, and they would pay, like I said, anywhere between 15,000 to 6 million. Somebody paid overall by the end of whatever all the payments they made. It was insane. And the 2 biggest names that were thrown out there were Lori Loughlin, Aunt Becky from Full House.
She on the run. It was a
She's on the run, and
they
the
caught
other
the one.
The other one is Felicity Huffman.
Felicity Huffman,
who is what?
No, just the way Pete said that. They caught the one. Like they caught her. Like they're hunting actresses now. I love it.
They got her.
William H. Macy's wife, she was in like Desperate Housewives and all kinds of stuff. She turned herself in.
So what charge? Like what are they getting charged with?
No.
Is this a felony?
It's a scam.
Yeah.
So they're I
It's
guess
fraud, right?
it's some kind of a
It's just
fraud
some kind of
scam.
fraud.
So it's crazy.
Well, I told you guys. I didn't tell you yet, Pete. You know who Lori Loughlin's husband, like the father of the daughter is, right? It's the guy it's Massimo, the Massimo clothing line.
Oh yeah.
That's the father. It's him. He's involved in it too.
But what I
Lucky bastard.
don't understand, right, is I read a little bit about it, the statements released were Felicity Huffman and husband, Lori Loughlin and husband, but charges weren't like that they both paid, but charges weren't brought against the husbands, William H. Macy and Massimo.
They got out of there.
It's only the women. Now that could change. There's
you can't take Papa Gallagher.
Dude, there's
man.
there's like 200 people that are like involved in this whole scheme. It's crazy.
That could have also been just a headline because they're both of them are bigger names.
Or maybe
you
it
know
was.
what I mean?
Maybe I'm wrong. I don't know if it was 200 people or it was 50 people and like $200 million of like scam money. I don't know.
So
it was insane.
All that money
God.
to throw around?
Any representatives from because it has to take two to tango, right? Or any representatives of these schools? Because I saw.
Oh yeah, there's.
Was it Yale, Georgetown?
They were saying, oh yeah, it was all the Ivy League schools.
Wow.
They're talking, and they're
Wow.
saying there's obviously the people who paid. There's athletic directors.
Yeah, the crew team apparently.
Coaches who are athletic coaches, which I'm interested to see if any popular names come out of that.
Oh, jeez. Yeah.
Yeah, like people, like decision makers at the school and stuff, like admissions and all. It is like, I mean, I haven't been able to read the details in a few hours, but I know my buddy was texting me saying, dude, if you read this, it gets crazier and crazier as you read more about it.
I'll tell you what, just this entire week, we've just peaked. You know what I mean?
Dude, what's going to happen with Season 4 of Fuller House? Like, what the fuck, man?
Speaking
I know,
of,
man. You can't have it without on Becky.
Speaking of, we have to talk to you about that Game of Thrones slander.
Game of trash?
No, I see it.
Stop it.
Jeez,
Game of
stop.
trash.
Yeah, guys. Chrome over here
Game of trash.
is a Game of Thrones hater.
Why?
Yeah, what's the issue?
What's the top?
Because
what's the top reason?
he's watched a few episodes and
About
doesn't like
the-
them.
Season 1 sucked.
About
It's fine.
the only thing that kind of is in comparison that might be
Oh Lord.
No.
worse.
Oh, no.
Oh, don't you
Oh,
do
no.
this. You're
But
reaching
it's
now.
but
He's so bad.
but I would still say
He's
Game of
so
Trash
incorrect.
is slightly worse. is Star Wars.
Oh, okay,
Ah,
I'm done.
you
I'm
mother-
done. I'm done. I'm done.
Guys, thank you for joining us on Birds of a Feather. I mean that, by the way. That's not a joke.
I know you do.
That's
You
not
legit
even a
don't
joke.
like Star Wars.
Star Wars sucks.
Jeez, I'm done.
I
I'm
like
done.
the first trilogy.
What do you mean?
Star Wars
Okay,
sucks.
Well, no, what do you mean
Oh,
the
yeah.
first trilogy? You mean
Like
1,
the
2, and 3?
original.
Like the
Oh, okay.
original
4, 5,
trilogy.
6.
Yeah.
Pete, I thought he was saying like 1, 2, and 3.
Now,
like,
if you just said Empire Strikes Back,
No.
listen.
The original trilogy.
okay, that's fine.
Okay.
Although
Oh, God.
The
Otherwise,
greatest-
There's always an all that.
Listen,
go,
the
here we go.
greatest trilogy of all time is Back to the Future. Guys, great show this
Good
week
Lord.
on Birds of a Feather. Appreciate you joining us on Facebook, YouTube, Periscope, Twitter.
I don't know how we ended
wherever
here.
Oh,
you
catch
join
the
us.
Aladdin trailer. Did you see the Aladdin trailer? That's my no huddle.
I heard the new.
Aladdin
I heard the
trailer.
new trailer was a lot better than anything else they released.
Yes. I gotta watch it.
It makes
Yeah.
you. It makes you go. Okay, now it's. Yeah.
I watched that
Yeah.
feminist Captain Marvel movie though.
Was it good?
It was good. It
I
was
have to
just-
catch it.
There's no. It's like dudes don't exist. Like this is 1960s.
I heard it's a pretty good throwback to like different
90s,
eras in there. Yeah,
yeah.
the 90s I heard too.
I still have to watch it. I think we're gonna go try to go sometime this weekend. We were supposed to watch it on Friday last week, but stuff came up, and then we kept pushing it back.
Yeah, well, I got to see it obviously before Avengers comes out next. So
Right, and
Yeah.
that's the main thing. This movie came out at the end of 2018, and we did a lot better. It feels rushed
yeah,
because she's going to be an Endgame.
Yeah.
So you had to get this movie out. Like
Yeah,
you had to tie everything together.
That's how they do it.
look
Oh,
at
here he
this.
is.
Here comes the
Look at
haters.
this.
here's the
Mr.
crumb,
Just
the
when we
one
thought we
vote,
couldn't get
The
it
one
done.
vote.
the
The
one
1%er.
vote
The
against the
one vote.
DeSean Jackson move. This
Because he
crumb.
has to be against it.
Of course,
Yeah,
it
of
would
course.
be the crumb with the Brady who hung the Brady jersey up on the wall.
Hey.
No, that has no business being on this one. I'm not saying he's not a goat.
Okay.
But it has no business on this
Yeah,
wall.
he's a goat.
But yeah, guys, great show.
Yes.
Don't forget, Back to the Future trilogy is the greatest
Game
trilogy
of
ever.
Thrones.
Game of Trash and Star Wars suck. Love you guys. Thank you, Pete, for joining us.
You
You're gonna catch. You can catch Pete on Fridays. But are you guys on this Friday?
No, so to be this Saturday, I may be making a spot appearance on both again, Birds of a Feather, and also may catch me on Lazy Booking as well.
Yeah, you're
Yeah,
gonna
you
catch
gotta
it.
come back, man.
He's gonna be
You're
popping
awesome.
on with us periodically.
Yeah.
It's an open catch. We told him anytime. We loved having Pete on. But yeah, you can check those guys out. Their show's awesome. Philly sports guys. Typically Fridays. You'll catch them this Saturday because we're having a little A2D outing. But great stuff. Appreciate you guys. Thanks to the sponsors, Gibson Mayer LLC, our certified public accountants. Make them yours. GibsonMayer.com. Specialized physical therapy. Scanzano Sports. Thank you to Mr. Brodo on the ones and twos.
The bro.
Chuck's another good one, buddy. Until then, lots of free agency. We had breaking news. We're waiting on Le'Veon. Until then, guys, have a great week.